This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Hey, that button went too early. All right. How's everybody doing? Hey, thanks. Those are cold cases. And thanks also to LM, Lee D, Cairo, and Zozo up above. I gotta have that sound right.
Thank you for covering these cases tonight, Gray.
No problem. Here we go, listen. There we go, okay. All right. How's everybody doing? After the show tonight, there was people in the comments that said, you know, you let the guys talk and you were so nice to all the guys, but you were so mean to all the girls who called in. Well, last night, the women that called in didn't have very good points. I mean, it was crazy, right? But normally it's only there's a bunch of trolls that call in that are guys, okay? I am not I can't stand when people try to pull the gender card. I treat everybody exactly the same, okay? And I think everybody has seen that over the years. Thank you, Cold Truth. Yeah, it's exactly the same. There's absolutely no difference. There just happens to be 75% of the people watching are female, and that's statistics. Can you hear me at all? Just curious.
Thank you for what you do.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, nobody just responded to anything I said. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, one of them called in and said they really said the person's a hunter, not that person. The lady who called in and said that was literally talking about him being a hunter, not a hunter of people. Okay. Then later on, there was somebody that said hunter, and I wanted to make sure. You know what? Forget it. I'm not going to explain myself. If you're so dumb, too stupid when you come on to actually understand what people are saying, then I don't have time. Okay. I don't have time for you. Yeah. It's just unbelievable. Some of the stuff that goes on out there. It's like, no, I'm not talking about you guys right here. I'm talking about in the comments section of the video. People say stuff that never happened, you know? Like they just took one part and went, oh yeah. Yeah. I thought last night was pretty good. You know? Right at the end, there was 2 crazy callers, but other than that, it was okay. And to be honest with you, there's so many trolls that show up on Delphi night. It's kind of strange. Like, how come there's so many trolls in the Delphi case? You guys should be ashamed of yourselves. I mean, it's unbelievable. You show up trolling a show about 2 girls that were murdered, like, just because you know, I'm not allowing your conspiracy theories and all kinds of crazy thoughts. You know, there's people have theories out there that if they're reasonable, I'm okay with it. But when you bring up a theory that brings up something that's not true, For example, last night, one of the people in the chat kept saying over and over and over again that Robert Ives said that the signatures showed that that person was local. Okay, I've never seen that. I've interviewed him. I've talked to him multiple times. He's never said that. And when I woke up this morning, lo and behold, there was no emails proving that he said that. Okay? But when you say that out loud, and everybody's like, wow, that's so interesting, it sort of becomes a fact over time. Oh, yeah, yeah. They were able to tell that the person was angry when they did the signature, Cairo. Yeah. It was a little bit more jaggedy shaped, the signature, right? Yeah. Okay. You know what's weird, though, is there was a can of oil next to it, and when you looked underneath it said Anadarko oil. It was unbelievable. And no, everybody, there wasn't really a can of oil. That was a joke, okay? All right. It's from the Chris Watts days, the cans of oil. The Anadarko Oil Association. See, every once in a while you got to get a few chuckles out of people. Oh, and today I listened to the Julie Rowe. Do you guys remember when Julie Rowe had those videos with this other person interviewing her? I downloaded all of them. I downloaded every single one of them I had 17 of them. And I think it was number 6 where she literally goes in there and discusses well, I didn't want to know him well enough to remember his name. LM, wow. Yikes. So she was in there and she literally, I mean, her and Chad just sit there and communicate about when Tammy's going to die over and over again. You know, so I actually called the detectives and I said, hey, if you guys don't have that video, why don't you check this one out? I haven't heard back yet, but I left a message. I think somebody needs to look at that. I think it's too weird that she's seeing Tammy dying all these different times. Part of this crazy, I mean, she is nuts, okay? Every single thing that she said in there was wrong. She kept saying, you don't seem, the guy said, you don't seem like you have any, like you don't think Chad did this. And she said, I not only don't think that, he absolutely had nothing to do with it. I know Chad. He's a great, just going on and on and on. And then when asked about the kids, she said, oh, the kids are fine. They're in a happy place. They're doing really well. They're not dead. I mean, she's nuts, okay? Every single thing that she said was incorrect. So if there's any lunatics out there wanting to buy her book as some great prophet, just realize that there was zero information that she said in 30 minutes that had any validity whatsoever. Not one accurate statement in 30 minutes. There's only a couple other YouTubers that can pull that feed off. Like speaking at the White House, for example. Let's see. Yeah. Well, I'm going to be getting into one of the cases I've talked about before, the Tammy Call case. That was a while ago. There was an update, so I figured. Then I went and found a few more of the old PDF files. Do that one first. The other one's kind of long, but I don't even know if there's that much information in the long one. But it's just sort of like, at least we'll know what was going on over the years. Really? Oh, sweet. The box of facts and the dumbbell. mugs. All right. The box of facts one didn't sell very well. You might be the only purchase. And me, I bought one too. You know, and that one was the let's see. Fill the box with facts and then think outside of that box. See, that's what I do. However, I do think outside the box all the time. I just don't mention those things because they're nuts. You know, they're crazy thoughts. But people think they need to say all those thoughts. You know, I do say crazy things sometimes, right? But it's usually not about a case or something. So what I try to do when I'm doing the show is, what are the facts we've got? And then come up with something reasonable based on those. Hey, thanks, C. Dorton. Okay, it looks like you got a smallmouth there. Little smallmouth bass, I think. I mean, bass are the only fish that you actually grab by the lip, really. I mean, you can do that with crappie, I guess, big ones. Yeah, I've caught, you know what's crazy? One time here in Portland, on the Willamette, hell, I can even show you exactly where it was. Watch this. Just to do a little side. John's Landing, Oregon. There, watch this. You can't see it yet, but. Yeah, that's not where it's at. Yeah, it's down here. Corbett, right here. Okay, I've caught a whole bunch of smallmouth right here. There's really big ones I've caught right here. One time I hooked onto something here that was so large I never even got to see it. It just broke my line. And then when I've caught a few right next to this one. And then right here, see this little culvert right here? I stood on top of this culvert in like May, and I was just standing there. I caught a couple little ones up in there. But I was standing there and I thought, hey, let me try this crawdad jig. And I put the crawdad jig on, because smallmouth love crawdad. And I was just jigging it in the water right below me, like right in front of this culvert right there. And I was just jigging it up and down. And this ridiculously large smallmouth just came up, grabbed it. I think it was just after spawning, because she was pretty thin. Or maybe it was male, I don't really know. But it was 23 inches long. I mean, it was just a massive smallmouth bass. And it probably only weighed 3.5 pounds maybe, because it was skinny. So there you go, everybody. There's my smallmouth bass fishing story. I could see all the snoring emojis. Yeah, fishing is mental too. Yeah. All right, everybody. We're going to do the Tammy Call case. This one's from 1990, February 20th. Oh, wait, one more thing about bass fishing. When I went to Oregon State University, this guy, I would just go down to the Willamette River, these little kind of islands off of that. And I didn't really know what I was doing, but this guy was there, and he taught me how to do it. Yeah, especially like the Texas rig, you know, the worm with the sliding weight in the front. I used a true turn hook. And what's incredible is he told me, listen, you don't have to feel a damn thing. Just watch your line. And I was like, what are you talking about? And man, it's just so incredible. You cast out, You lock the bail, and then the line starts sinking. And then if the line gets slack too soon, that means the fish grabbed it and is moving right towards you, and you just reel in and boom, right, and set the hook. Or you can cast out, and you'll see your line starting to move side to side, and then you know a fish has it. You don't have to feel anything. So that made a huge difference. Biggest bass I've ever caught is probably 5 pounds at Lake Oswego. Believe it or not. And I caught a 17-inch crappie in there, which is pretty big. All right? Okay. Now we're getting back to the case. 17-inch crappie is a meal. I mean, that's like a, Well, we just started D&K, Rick. Yeah. Well, I graduated Oregon State. Cairo, he just drives through every once in a while. Yeah, well, the thing is, I root for both schools because I went to U of O for 2 years and then graduated at Oregon State. And I went to Western Oregon State College. Basically, I went to college. I ended up with 220-something credits. Wasted a lot of time. I think so too, Drew. Yeah, you can catch a pike with a hot dog, huh? Wow. I wonder what that's supposed to represent. Oh yeah, world champion bass fishing? Wow. I know Japanese are really into bass fishing too. Which is weird, I mean. Daybell worm slugs. Oh yeah. And when you catch it, it transports you all around the country. It's weird. Opens up a portal. Yeah. All right, you guys. There's the fishing stories. Well, here, hey, Cairo, what they should do is make a platypus for those people who are they like the beavers and the ducks. They should have a platypus. You even call them bucks or deavers. No, I think deavers is better because bucks already exist. Right? But yeah, just put a platypus on there, kind of half beaver, half duck. I think it'd be kind of funny. Never seen it. No, I haven't caught a fish like that. Pound bass at 12 years old on a hot dog. Man, that's crazy. And a safety pin. Yeah, it's wild. Okay, everybody, I'm moving. I'm going to do the case now. Tammy Call. Again, 1990, February 20th. So, let's see. This is an article from March 25th, 5 days later. Oh, no, more than a month later. So it was February 20th. This is March 25th. Tammy Call's Sony Walkman has been silent since she disappeared. Her father, Captain Joseph Call, said his 15-year-old daughter was rarely without the tape player, the continual faint hum of the rock music following her wherever she went. Yeah, I remember right around that time everybody had those. The music stopped on February 20th, the day Tammy didn't come home from school. Nothing was gone, no clothes, no money, nothing. Not even her Walkman, Call said. Vernon Parish Sheriff's deputies say Tammy took the bus to Leesville High School that morning with the plan of skipping class with a friend. That plan was foiled by school officials. I remember going over this before. Plan was foiled by school officials when they got wind of the plot. Tammy was last seen entering the school between 8 a.m. or the building at about 8 a.m. She never made it to the first class. There's no explanation, Call said. So she actually got in to the school at 8, but never even made it to the class. It just doesn't add up. Huh. So somebody saw her entering the school, but she never even made it to the class. There's no explanation, Call said. It just doesn't add up. He said his daughter has skipped school before, but wasn't in the habit of cutting class. The family is very close and open, he said. When Tammy would skip, she would always call home to let her family know not to worry. She's never done anything that we didn't know about, that we know of, he said. This time there was no phone call. My first reaction when she didn't come home was to go to school, Call said. We went to every friend we knew, and this is, I got the location right here. That's the high school. So apparently she went in, but never went to her class. Yeah. Then we asked some of them if they knew anyone else who might know where she was. No one knew anything. When night came and there was still no word from Tammy, Call decided to notify police. Deputies say the only lead they have is an unconfirmed report by a Lebo's convenience store clerk that a girl matching Tammy's description was using a payphone at the at the LA Highway 8 East store. Let me see if that's still there. Yeah. I don't even know. That's so long ago. Almost every store changes its name. At about the same time of her disappearance, so I guess that was in the morning. The last place we know for sure was she was at Leesville High School, said Larry Smith, chief detective for Vernon Parish. There are no solid leads. Call said he's joined with police for the search of his daughter. For 2 weeks, all I did was try to find her. I went to Beaumont, I went to Houston. I just got a call from somebody who said we think she's here. He describes Tammy as a normal teenager. She's the oldest of 4 children. Her sisters are 14 and 5 years old, and her brother is 8. The family was transferred to Fort Polk from Tennessee a year ago. Call said he believes Tammy adjusted well to the change. She never complained. It was my 14-year-old that didn't want to move. I think Tammy's 15 or 16. I think maybe 16. She had a boyfriend there. It didn't take her long to find another one when she moved to. So she was happy. He's trying to explain why she probably didn't run away. She would take a spider outside of the house instead of killing it, he said. She was very loyal to her friends. If a girl was her friend at school, she would take up for them if someone was picking on them. She would just help any animal or any person. Tammy, that's one of the things that Becky has said about Libby, actually. Exact same thing. You could tell there was feeling in them instead of just making things. Let's see. Tammy enjoys writing poetry and songs about friendship. You could tell there was feeling in them instead of just making things rhyme, her father said. Yeah, you hear that, Mary Lou? You should try that.
What do you mean? I rhyme all the time.
That's exactly right. That's what they were saying. He said each family member only wish now is for Tammy's safe return. For now, they're left only with their memories and the girl's favorite belongings, especially the Walkman. Call said his daughter often took it to school. For some reason, it was left behind on the day of her disappearance. Well, it didn't say she always took it. Often took it to school. For some reason, she didn't take it that day. Well, often doesn't mean always. So, I don't know why she didn't take it, he said. Maybe she was late for the bus. Call said someone continually waits by the family's telephone hoping for word on Tammy. We're looking for anyone who knows something, anything, he said. I'm not an investigator. I just want to find my daughter. All right, then another one on May 5th, so 5 weeks later. Missing girl believed to be alive. Leesville police believe a Fort Polk teenager who disappeared in February is still alive. Tammy Call, 15, was last seen entering Leesville High School around 8 a.m. on February 20th. She failed to report to her first class and did not return home. We have not been able to prove that Tammy Call has met with a death in any means or form. Leesville Police Chief Gil Jean Jr. said Friday. That's what he said anyways. We still believe that Tammy is alive, and information that we're trying to verify. Now we hope we'll bear that out. What's going on, everybody? In the chat there. Man. Well, she does the vomit because that's just what she does. Yeah. Are you guys ready for to go? Because when you're doing the things with the vomits and everything, you're probably not really focused in on what's going on. Tammy's alive, and information that we're trying to verify now, we hope will bear that out. Preoccupation. The teenager appears to have had a preoccupation with heavy metal music. Oh, now they're going to try to associate it with that. Suicide and the occult, Gene said. Well, what teenager didn't listen to some of that crap? Vernon Parish Sheriff Deputy said in March that Miss Call took the bus to school that morning with the intention of skipping classes with a friend. School officials initially foiled the plan and told both to go to class, but only the friend obeyed. Let me see. Oh, I see. That's interesting. So she was just going to skip school no matter what. On March 30th, a student found Miss Call's book bag in high weeds and brush near a path behind the school. Well, that's interesting. So maybe back over here somewhere? I don't know. Let me see what we got on the time if we go back. Because this will be pretty close. 1994. You know, maybe this is the path over here. Well, that's what I'm going to guess. Book bag. But don't get me wrong, I like the vomit emoji, okay? Alright. Let me... oh yeah, see, that's all new. That's interesting. All this stuff is new. So you go back to 1994, and that's all woods right there. So, it could be right around, somewhere around in this area. I don't think it's over here. It needed to be some place where, you could walk and get somewhere. Like maybe she was heading out to a street or something. Oh, man. Okay, so on March 30th, the student found Miss Call's book bag in high weeds and brush near a path behind the school. The path leads to a public street. The bag wasn't discovered earlier because it appeared to have been cast off the path and wasn't clearly visible. Police also didn't know that the path was a route Miss Call had taken. Yeah, so they don't know that she took that route. But maybe she did, because if she skipped school, she may have taken that route to go meet somebody. And who was the person, what was she going to go do? Maybe there was somebody she was communicating with. In the writings that were found in her personal effects, she had a preoccupation with heavy metal and suicide, Jean said. She talks in her writings a number of times about death. This is when they were running out of information. She's 15. It's our information that she wanted to be a heavy metal writer, he said, explaining that Miss Call indicated she wanted to write lyrics for such music. There were references and symbols and things characteristics of an occult among Miss Call's possessions. And of course, the occult has a very strong influence in some of the heavy metal productions, he said. It all goes hand in hand. It's our stated opinion Tammy left of her own accord, Jean said. We have nothing to prove that or disprove it either. So their opinion was she just left. And why? Because she had occult writings? There was an unconfirmed report that a girl matching Miss McCall's description was seen making a phone call at a convenience store on La Highway 8 shortly after she believed to have disappeared. Let me see where that. Oh, so that's what this is. And it's just right outside the school here. There's the school. Convenience store. Usually they stay convenience stores. Okay. I think I already had a pin there. She was spotted walking on LA 8 here. I wonder if that's a convenience store on the right. Well, it isn't now. Okay, so that was on L8 after she believed to have disappeared. One of 4 children. Miss Call, the oldest of 4 children of Fort Polk Captain, moved with her family from Tennessee. 5 women in Vernon Parish have been reported missing since 1986. 3 were found dead. I think they think she might be part of a bigger deal. A DeRitter man was charged in March with the death of Tamika Walker, 15, who disappeared from a Fort Polk bowling alley late February 23rd. 2 other murders remain unsolved, and 2 women remain missing with no word on their whereabouts. Alright, then we're at the anniversary now, the following year. It wasn't really heavily covered. One year ago, 15-year-old Tammy Michelle Call left home for what her parents thought would be a normal day at school. They haven't seen her since. She vanished without a trace. Today, Major Joseph Call, Tammy's father, still aches for his daughter to come home. If we just knew something, he said, his voice hopeful that someday his daughter will reappear. The girl's disappearance has stumped Vernon Parish investigators who say they're still working on the case but don't have much to go on. Larry Smith, chief of detectives for the Vernon Parish Sheriff's Office, says his officers have run down every lead on the case and now are viewing information obtained during the last year. They're talking to friends again. He said deputies are in the process of administering polygraphs to Tammy's friends and acquaintances originally questioned in the case, hoping something they may have missed the first time around will lead them to the missing girl. When you don't have anything to go on, you'll look at it any angle. Tammy was last seen entering the Leesville High School building just before classes were to begin on February 20th, 1990. She and her friends had planned on skipping school that day, but she was caught by a school official before she could slip away. Tammy was told by the school official to get to class. Her friends were able to leave the school. Oh, well, this is completely opposite. Her friends were able to leave the school and continue with their plans. Witnesses saw the girl entering the school, but she never made it to her first class. So it's like she probably was like, I gotta catch up to him. She went through the building, Smith said. She went through the front and out the back. Tammy, determined to skip classes, was isolated from her friends. They had no way of knowing her plans, and she had no way of knowing theirs. She stashed her books and book bag into some bushes and headed out on her own. Well, you don't know that. That's just the stashing. She might have been abducted at that point, and then her bag thrown. You don't know if she stashed her books anywhere. Smith said he believes Tammy began walking down U.S. Highway 171. Let's see. Now this has a lot more. Yeah. At least I caught it before it. So she's heading this way. There it is. So that La 8, whatever, is 171. See? Okay. Smith said he believes Tammy began walking down U.S. Highway 171. What happened next is a mystery, but Smith said he's all but sure the girl met with foul play. Hey, thanks, Amber Maiden. Yes! A wave! Yeah. What happened next is a mystery, but Smith said he's all but sure the girl met with foul play. Her friends indicated to me that she was the type that would thumb a ride. They had done it many times, he said. That's very possibly what happened. Yeah, I guess people still hitchhiked even in like 1990. Tammy's friends claim no knowledge of her girl's fate. She didn't go to any friend's house, or at least they say she didn't. See, that's interesting. I didn't realize that the other friends actually got out and she went to go catch up with them. Thank you, Lee D. You're not chopped liver. Oh, and LM as in element open. Yeah, today wasn't as good a day for my lower back, but it's nowhere near what it was the other day. Yeah, you're nowhere near chopped liver, Lee D. Nowhere near. Not even close. So, yeah, I guess they don't have any proof. I mean, I don't know what she would have done. Her friends left, and then she felt left out, and she snuck out the back. And it looks like she tried to... I mean, the friends might not be admitting that they had plans somewhere. And then it's like, well, she had no way of knowing. Well, maybe she did. I don't know what that means. Lower back ablation. So I guess no. Well, thank you guys for that little mini wave there. And Smith said he doesn't believe the girl ran away from home that day. He said there's no indication that Tammy was terribly unhappy with her home life. And her friend said they had no knowledge of any intention she may have had of running away. Smith also said, well, that's the thing. If friends would have said, oh, yeah, it seems like she would have ran away if they were involved. They would have made up the excuse for them not to look at something else. Smith also said events leading to Tammy's disappearance did not indicate the girl was planning to leave home for good. So that was a decent article there with other information. I don't think that backpack, I mean, just to assume it was thrown there to stash it is, you know, I don't know. I mean, even if I saw it the way it was sitting there, I wouldn't necessarily believe that. I mean, why would she need to just chuck it, you know? I don't know. Alright, so this is another one from July 16th of 1991. So this is kind of interesting because there's other cases they think there might be something linked to it. Yeah, I don't know. Mine seems like it's a muscle problem, LM. Like sitting around too much shortened up this one muscle that's like in your lower back somewhere. And because as soon as I stretch a certain way, it doesn't hurt at all for a few minutes. Yeah, it's weird about the backpack. All right, so here we go. The murders and or disappearances of 4 women in Leesville. I mean, it's not like a huge town. I mean, look at this. That's like, I would guess maybe 3,000 people. I guess we could look that up. Uh, 5,891. Okay. So very small populated area. Alright, so the murders and or disappearances of 4 women in Leesville area over the past 5 years may or may not be related. Well, yeah, I think we already knew that, right? But they have been combined as the mystery Vernon Parish investigators would most like to see resolved. While it is not known whether the murders of Pam Hill and Karen Miller and the disappearances of Bambi Brantley and Tammy Michelle Call are related, the 4 unsolved crimes are linked in the minds and efforts of investigators. Sheriff Frank Howard said Miss Hill, 21, a clerk at the Circle K store on that LA Highway, that's LA Highway 10 now, Louisiana Highway 10. I'm not sure why I kept saying La. I'm in Louisiana. It's pretty obvious. Louisiana Highway 10 near Fort Polk was abducted on November 21st. She was taken to National Forest property, tied to a tree, and shot once in the head. Wow. Did we cover that one? Let's see. Sheriff Miss Hill. That would have been Pam Hill. No. I have to take a look at that one. Alright, so she was taken to the National Forest property, tied to a tree, and shot once in the head. We have to say the apparent motive was robbery, Howard said, but it didn't look like a robbery. Only a small amount of money was taken. What makes this crime difficult to solve is that there are no witnesses and no physical evidence was left at the scene We haven't had any new leads. We have run into a dead end on it. Howard said there are some similarities in the 4 cases that lend credence to the theory they are linked. Leesville Police Chief G.B. Jean said there is no absolute evidence to conclude the 4 cases are related, although there are some common similarities. Those similarities include all the victims were white females with blonde or blondish hair. All were new to the Leesville area, living in the area between 6 and 18 months, and all repeatedly had some link to a convenience store. Had some link to a convenience store just prior to their disappearance. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking that was weird. There was a Circle K and then the other store. In the case of the 2 murders, the bodies were found on federal property. That's interesting. So the 2 murders, Call hasn't been found at this point, were found on federal property. 2 have links to Fort Polk. Mrs. Hill's husband was stationed there, and Miss Call's father was stationed there. There are some differences in the cases. For example, the 4 women are all of varying heights, weights, and ages. The women were 5'4", 5'6", 5'7", and 5'10". Well, I don't know. What difference does that make? They were 105, 115, 130, and 135 pounds. The ages were 28, 23, 21, and 15. The 15 would be more the outlier in that one, which would be Tammy Call. In the case of Miss Miller, she was last seen in the city limits. Her vehicle was found 6 miles north of Leesville, and her body was recovered in Sabine Parish. The 23-year-old woman was reported missing on March 29, 1989, so just 1 year before Call. She left a Leesville night spot and was seen about an hour later making a phone call at Lebo's convenience store on, look at that, Louisiana Highway 8. Man, they should call this guy the Louisiana Highway Killer. Bones identified as hers were found in a creek bed on government reservation in Sabine Parish on November 24, 1989. Miss Brantley, 28, disappeared on October 26, 1986, after making a call from Super Sam's convenience store, also on Louisiana Highway 8. Yeah, that can't be coincidental. I mean, that's, you know. Miss Call 15 disappeared February 20th, 1990, apparently walking or being taken away from Leesville High School before classes began. A girl matching Miss Call's description was seen using a payphone at Lebo's convenience store. Didn't they just mention that? Hold on. Yeah, right there. Lebo's convenience store. Right there. That's the same one as that's crazy. The 23-year-old. Huh. Man, all right there on that street. Are they still there? Well, there's a Lebo's shop right there. Sounds like it was on this highway, though. Okay, there's a convenience store there. Yeah, I don't know. They don't have the addresses. Miss Brantley, 28, disappeared on October 26. Okay, Miss Call, 15, disappeared February 20th, 1990, apparently walking or being taken away from Leesville High School before classes began. A girl matching Miss Call's description was seen using a payphone at Lebo's convenience store around the time of Miss Call's disappearance. Thank you, Cece. Investigators have said Miss Call apparently walked away from the school on her own. A book bag was recovered along a path behind the school about a month after her disappearance. She had apparently discarded the bag as she was walking away from school. I don't know how you just sort of throw that out there like that. Jean said that from time to time, the cases are brought back up by city, parish, and military law enforcement task force. We are still in contact with other agencies. Wynn Parish authorities will not discuss the death of Lisa Marie Myers Stevenson because an active investigation is still underway. Miss Stevenson was beaten to death with a blunt object on October 24th in a downstairs bedroom in the home of her father, Dr. E.C. Myers. She was spending the night at the house with her two sons. A coroner report showed she had been beaten repeatedly about the head, face, and body with a blunt object and died from brain damage caused by severe blows to the head. An object believed to be the one used in the beating was retrieved from the bedroom, but officials have not said what the object is. Well, what's this one? I gotta look this one up really quick. That one's crazy. Because there's like 5 different women here. Or was that one of the ones that was mentioned? Alright, so her name is Lisa Marie Myers Stevenson. Maybe it just be Lisa Stevenson. The time. Oh, there we go. Let's see. I just want to see what this says really quick about that one. State versus Stevenson. In the capital case, the defendant, John Wesley Stevenson, was convicted of first-degree premeditated murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. In the sentencing hearing, the jury found... Alright, let's see. At the time of Lisa Stevenson's death, Jonathan Wesley Stevenson was a truck driver employed by Just-in-Time Express. She and the defendant had been married 8 years. You know, God... See, that's the thing, is the way she was killed, I was thinking, man, that sounds really personal. You know, so, you know, you get somebody beaten in the head like that. So it turns out that case was solved. Her husband killed her. Another one of those, freaking barbarians. On December 3rd, 1989, Saylor saw the defendant leave at around 5:30. Later that evening, around 8:30, both Saylor and his wife heard someone drive away from the trailer where Lisa and the defendant lived. The next morning, Lisa was missing, and the 2 children were found alone in the trailer. Right. So he killed his wife. Probably had to pay child support. See, I always think it's so interesting to read through these, but it's so long. If you guys want, I'll put it in the description, just so you can check it out. On that, it's just that random side case, but you get all the details in these articles, these law articles. I'm not even sure what you call this right here, but it gives you every bit. I think this is a suit or some sort of a case here, but it gives you all the background information. I'll put this in there. Stevenson. There you go. Boom. I'll probably check it out myself. Okay, so that was that. And then there's like nothing in the papers for years. And unfortunately, there was somebody that had a business named Tammy or something. And there was like 1,000 articles that said, call Tammy. And it kept showing up in the search results. And so, Tammy Call, right? It was just ridiculous. All right, so in 1997, 7 years later, bones found in Vernon Parish earlier this year are those of a Fort Polk teenager who disappeared from Leesville High School nearly 8 years ago. Vernon Parish Sheriff's Office detectives suspected all along that the bones were 15-year-old Tammy Call's, but it took 10 months and several experts to make a positive match. It was the only person we have missing from our area who fit that age and the time period, he said. Detectives are sure Call was murdered, but the bones held no clue to how, he said. Call disappeared in February 1990. She was seen walking into Leesville High School in the morning, but never showed up for her first class. And her friends escaped and headed out themselves. A month later, a student found Call's book bag near a footpath through a brushy area behind the school. Investigators and others speculated Call was either kidnapped or left with someone willingly. Detectives still aren't sure what happened. There is foul play involved in it. A 15-year-old child in the area where the remains were located tends to support the fact that there was foul play, Smith said. We don't have any idea at this point of the cause of death. There's no way of determining that based on what a hunter found, or what we have found. A hunter found Miss Call's bones in woods, and look at this, U.S. Forest Service land, another federal property. You don't think there's some kind of a relationship here? The LSU Anthropology Department determined that they were from a young woman between the age of 15 and 20 and had been out in the open 7 to 8 years. DNA tests confirmed a match between the bones and samples from Call's parents. Miss Call's parents still live in Leesville, where her father is a lieutenant colonel at Fort Polk. That was in 1997. In a statement issued Tuesday from Fort Polk, Call's parents Joseph and Reba. Let me look something up here. Hold on. I gotta check out my Ben Verified here. And this is in Leesville. How old would you think he was? Man, there's actually 4 different ones. You wouldn't think there would be 4 Joseph Call. Call isn't a very common last name at all. And what was the wife's name that I just said? Was it Kimberly? I thought I said that. No, Reba. So Rebecca. There it is. I got the right one. 66 years old. I want to see if I can find where they live. Address. Alright, let's see if any of these make sense. Okay, here's one. Should be... Oh yeah, but she would have taken the bus there, right? Nah, let's try this one. This one says 1994, which is a little bit closer. I don't know. I don't see it in there. Let me try the wife. See what hers says. Just take a second here. Hello, Tani. Alright. She only has that last one. This one right here. Actually, it's Mitchell Road. Yeah. So it makes you wonder if she lived there even back then. Because that's it. Alright, so the LSU Anthropology Department determined that they were from a young woman. DNA test confirmed a match. Missed calls parents still live in Leesville. In a statement issued Tuesday from Fort Polk, calls parents Joseph and Reva said this begins the process of closure for us. Doesn't exist. It's not the closure we have hoped for. We had hoped and prayed Tammy would be found alive, but at least we know where Tammy is now. She is in heaven. Call's disappearance in 1990 followed a string of missing persons cases involving teenage girls. At one point, people in the area speculated that the girls may have been the victims of a serial killer. 3 other teenage girls went missing in the late 80s before Call's disappearance. Arrests have been made in the cases of Karen Hill and Tamika Walker. Still unsolved is the case of Pam Miller, who disappeared May 29th, 1989. Her body was found in November. So which one was the I gotta go back now. So Pam Miller is still, at that point, was unsolved. Was it right here? Also some differences. No, there it is. Miss Miller. She was last seen in the city limits. Her vehicle was found 6 miles north of Leesville, and her body was recovered in Sabina Parish. The 23-year-old woman was reported missing on March 29th, 1989. That would have been about 11 months prior. She left Leesville night spot and was seen about 8 hours later making a phone call at Lebo's Convenience. See, that's the one that actually has the same name. So the one that's still not solved is the one that literally has the exact same convenience store. So that's pretty interesting, don't you think? That the other one that's not solved had the same convenience store in connection. That's if it really was her making that phone call. Yeah, she's from North Carolina. So let's see, what do we got here? And then there was this article. I think this is what we read. This is back in 2019. 15-year-old Tammy Call was reported missing by her parents during the afternoon hours of Tuesday, February 20th, 1990. During the course of the investigation, detectives learned that Tammy had traveled to Leesville High School the morning of her disappearance on the school bus with her siblings. Tammy arrived at school and met with friends. The two girls decided to skip school and were walking back to the school parking lot to where the friend's boyfriend was waiting in a vehicle. Before they could get to the car, they were confronted by a school employee and told to go back into the building. Tammy's friend told the teacher that she was headed to get her books from her car and Tammy returned to the school building. Okay, so the other girl just did a little trick and got out. Tammy's friend left the school parking lot at the time with her boyfriend. Tammy apparently traveled through the school building and exited the back door. When interviewed by detectives, the friend and boyfriend indicated that once they left the parking lot, they did not see Tammy again that day. Detectives conducted a significant number of interviews, but nobody could provide information as to Tammy's whereabouts. A young schoolmate came forward and indicated that they knew Tammy from riding that school bus. On that Tuesday, the child's mother was driving them to school, and the child recalled seeing Tammy walking south on down the highway in front of the current day, red and white feed store. Let's see if that should be still there right now. Oh, well, that's where we had the pin. All right, let's put it right here. So I guess that was a convenience store at one point. So that's kind of weird. It almost seems like she went this way. I guess why they're saying, if they really believe that sighting, then they think she threw her backpack, and if we go back in time again to 1994, that's all woods there. Well, where's the parking area? That's there, but she didn't do that. Remember? Okay, so what happened was she got to the school here, and then the teacher says, "Hey, what are you doing?" The other girl goes, "Oh, I'm going to go back to the car to get my books or something." And then Tammy goes into the building but went straight out the back. And then probably, maybe she knew her friends were going to be heading this way, so she wanted to cut them off. And then maybe she did go through a trail through her bags to sort of stash them, and then went to the road here. But why did she even have her bags with her, I guess? Maybe just to pull off the ruse that she was going to school that day. So she dumps her bag, goes to this road here, and then heads back out onto that Louisiana 8. Or maybe not here, excuse me. She goes to here, up here, and then she's spotted right there, probably trying to catch up with her friends. But that's probably what she did, just like that. What do you think? It's not like she would go over here. That trail behind the school must be right through there. I think it almost has to be, just based on that look. Over here, it just goes out in the middle of nowhere. Unfortunately, they can't say 100% sure that was her at the convenience store, but I think they really believe it because it's somebody that knew her. So this is cool because this is 2019, a lot of updated information. Okay, disappearance, but at the time we're unable to... I'm not there yet. Tammy's friend left the school parking lot at that time with her boyfriend. A young schoolmate came forward and indicated that they knew Tammy from riding the school bus. On that Tuesday, the child's mother was driving them to school, and the child recalled seeing Tammy walking south on down the highway in front of the current day red and white feed store. Months later, Tammy's backpack would be found in some brush along a walking trail leading to Bellevue Road. Let's see if that's right. Oh, that's Miller Road. So hold on a second. Let's let me get the... Oh wait, let's see. No, that is. There it is. Bellevue Road right there. So we got it right. So I think the route then would be something like this. See? It's one of those boom moments, but they're so regular now that, you know, it's almost like old hat. Can I get a boom? I gotta, you know, I should get, you know, that idiot that said, he said boom. That one? I should use that, make a sound effect with that. What do you guys think? Just because he's just, it's so stupid. Hey, are you sending me on vacation? I'll tell you what, I'll finish this story and then I'll do my vacation. Yeah. Yeah, I need to go get that one. And then I'm going to get the one that says, you know what a quarter horse is? Quarter horse door is? Or quarter door is? Whatever the hell he was saying. Do you know what a quarter door is? Just for Cairo. So when I can play it, and it'll just ruin his night. Every single time. You know? Because he loves that when somebody says quarter door. No, mainly just that guy. Yeah. All right. Detectives continue to investigate Tammy's disappearance, but at the time were unable to locate the 15-year-old. After some time, the case went cold, but was never forgotten by the sheriff detectives. Now, let me do one thing here. So here's I just want to look at the what it looks like out on the right in front of the school here. So this is the parking lot, and then she would have, you know, probably went through one of these doors right here. That's something we don't get to know. But let's see if there's anything on the back. Yeah, so probably just came out like this and then just bolted. I bet this little area here was the path at one point. All right, after some time, the case went cold, but never forgotten by the sheriffs. In February 1997, Tammy's remains were located in a secluded area of West Boundary Road in the Highway 10 area. Okay, that's right. So here's Highway 10. And I think this was, I thought this was West Boundary Road when we did this map a long time ago, this part of it. Never had the path information. Nothing, hold on. Oh, shoot. That sign has a writing on it. Right there on top of that sign, but it's going to be too blurry. Ah, that sucks. That's Georgia Avenue. I also have a pin way down here, but that doesn't, I don't think that's right. There's Highway 10, and I think it was just off of here somewhere. And look, it's near the Fort Polk again. Makes you kind of wonder if it was some military individual who was aware of the families moving in. In April 2017, the Louisiana Department of Corrections Parole Board voted 3-0 in favor of granting parole to Galbraith. Wait, what did they say up here? In 1997, VPSO detectives were able to identify Samuel Galbraith through advances in DNA as the person responsible for the kidnapping, rape, and murder of Karen Hill in November of 1988. Galbraith was a soldier. Yeah, see, but he was out and free. Galbraith was a soldier at Fort Polk and was in Leesville area from December 87 until June 1990. Ah, jeez. I bet you anything that, if he's I think it was a serial killer. I think all four of those, even though maybe one of them wasn't, but this guy was one of the ones that was arrested. But his murder, the murder that he committed, was very similar. And they were talking about him in this article. Galbraith was a soldier, there you go, at Fort Polk, and was in the Leesville area from December 1987. In April 2017, the Louisiana Department of Corrections Parole Board voted 3-0 in favor of granting parole to Galbraith. Galbraith's parole was ultimately rescinded following a backlash of public outrage. Good job, public. They should have also said, you'll either rescind it or you can live at your house for the next 3 years while we make sure that he's fine for being out in society. Is that okay, Judge? You know what? All of a sudden, I'm not sure. I think that the Galbraith was currently filed suit against the state of Louisiana in relation to the rescinding. During the time of Galbraith's station at Fort Polk, look at that, you guys. He was stationed at Fort Polk. It's right there. Wait, you guys remember that time that guy called in? That's not this case, is it? Remember he called in and he kind of showed us where you drive down a road and it was kind of dodgy. I don't think this is it. It looked similar though, like down a road, but there was different construction going on. I don't remember that one, the case. During the time that Galbraith was stationed at Fort Polk, there were 3 women reported missing and ultimately found murdered in areas in close proximity to government training areas. Karen Hill, November 1988, Galbraith was convicted utilizing DNA in 1997 of Hill's murder. Her body was located tied to a tree in Little Cypress Park off Highway 10. Look how close that is. There's Highway 10, Little Cypress Recreational Area. Yeah, they definitely had a serial killer here. Thank you, Jessica Schubach and LM. Look at that. There's Fort Polk. Boom, boom. Where's the other one? Karen Hill, November 1988. Galbraith was convicted utilizing DNA. Pamela Miller, 1989. Miller remains were located in close proximity to military training grounds in Peason Ridge, Sabina Parish. This is up here, another military training ground. And this is Pamela Miller. Thank you, Jessica Schubach and LM. Miller's remains were located in close proximity to, Tammy Call. Her remains were located in close proximity to military training grounds in the area of West Boundary Road in February 1997. VPSO asked anyone who was a friend or classmate of Tammy at Leesville High School to contact Detective Jerry Twyman. Investigators firmly believe that Tammy's case is solvable. Yeah, I don't think it was one of the friends or anything. I think it's this. I'd be shocked if it's not this Galbraith guy. Alright, so now I've got one more. This just came out today. Potential new evidence in 30-year-old cold case. Vernon Parish investigators are, this came out on, yesterday. Vernon Parish investigators are cautiously optimistic that they may have obtained new evidence in a murder case that has gone unsolved for more than 30 years. On Friday, detectives wrapped up a week-long search in a remote area of the Kisatchie National Forest in the same area. Let's see, let me type that in. That's not even anywhere near. Does Highway 10 even go over there? Let's see. It'll probably say something that makes sense. I just didn't read it. Kisatchie National Forest in the same area where the remains of 15-year-old Tammy Call were discovered. Yeah. So maybe that's where she was found, not where they said in the paper. She had been missing for 7 years. Sheriff Sam Kraft said that during the search, detectives honed in on areas alerted to them by a cadaver dog who was brought through the area recently with the hopes of breathing new life into the cold case. Their efforts were rewarded, and Kraft said the dog identified 2 hot spots that detectives excavated this week. I'm just going to move that over there. I don't know why that article is so off. During the search, we did locate some objects of interest that have been recovered and are being sent off to a lab. Because the investigation is ongoing, Kraft declined to comment on what the objects of interest were. The findings could be an exciting turn in the decades-old investigation that was reopened in December of 2017 when Sheriff Kraft created a cold case team of detectives. The team selected cases they believed had a true chance of being solved with today's science and DNA testing advances, which included Tammy Call's case. Chief Detective Rhonda Jordan, a member of the cold case team, said the potential new evidence recovered from the scene fueled the efforts of the detectives to push harder than ever as they strive to make good on promises made to the grieving families behind their cold cases. I wonder if they somehow were able to get some kind of DNA. We work as hard as we do because the victim's family is left not knowing what happened to their loved ones. For those families, the feelings of grief and loss are as fresh as when they learned their loved one had been murdered. Tammy went missing on February 20th, 1990, when her parents said she She did not get off the school bus. Her father, Joe Call, was a soldier stationed at Fort Polk at the time and said he and his wife immediately knew something was wrong. They said, because kids do this all the time, we told them, you don't know this girl. See, that's what we always say. You got to listen to the parents. You got to listen to it. VPSO detectives would later learn that Tammy had agreed to skip class with one of her friends the day she went missing. The two had agreed to meet near a wooded area behind Leesville High School, but they never did. Tammy's backpack was found sometime later under a nearby bridge. Oh, now we got a bridge. Hold on. Yeah, see, that's almost exactly. Oh my God, did I just accidentally just throw? Look at that, where I put that, the book bag. Can I get another boom? Yeah. That's pretty crazy, right? I don't know if that bridge was there, but I'm just saying. I mean, I literally accidentally put the bag. I was kind of wondering if it was like right here, maybe. But that's not really a bridge. I bet you that was there anyways. That's just ridiculous. Because I just saw it when it was like this. Maybe there was a bridge. You know, a little path and a little bridge in there. It's hard to say. Let me see what's going on in 1998. Oh, look at that. Yep. 98, when the trees are gone, that bridge is right there. Miraculous. Miraculous. Alright, they said would later learn that Tammy had agreed to skip class with one of her friends that day she went missing. The two had agreed to meet near a wooded area behind Leesville High School, but never did. Tammy's backpack was found sometime later under a nearby bridge. Tammy was missing for 7 years before her remains were located, which included only a few teeth and a single shoe. Wow. Sheriff Kraft said it could be 6 to 8 weeks before any potential results can be determined from the objects located on Friday. We hope that this can lead us to a path to finding justice for the Call family. So at least they're still working on it. All right. Well, it's about time for beach time. We got through that story. Man, that was that's pretty wild, isn't it? It's weird how there's just so little information on some of these. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Yeah. Bum, bum, bum.
Vacation time, everybody!
Yep, they know, Mary Lou. They know. Oh, look at that. Its own palm trees. All right, Amistad. The county fair, did you submit a pie? I didn't even know they still had county fairs. Yeah, I need some chapstick. You know, I put this, I don't know what it was. I think my wife used some fertilizer that had some manure in it, and all of a sudden we have all these flies. So I bought this fly trap, put it outside, and it seems like it attracts flies from 1,000 miles. I mean, there was literally 600 flies in it. I actually used a strainer and poured them into it, and it was like a ball about this big. It was unreal. I don't know, so I'm not sure those things really, they work great, but they work too good. Thanks, Jessica Schuba. Thank you, Lori Grant.
Chapstick.
Hey, we're almost at 40%. Rum and Coke.
A cocktail for Mary Lou.
Maybe a shot at tequila would-
Tropical drink.
Maybe it'd help out the back a little bit too. Well, it was weird too because it was weird how I had to do it. You're gonna think it's kind of weird, but so on the fly trap, there's 4 holes on the top of it. So I went up and put duct tape on all 4 of the holes because there was about 8 still flying around. But I wasn't sure what to do, so I came up with an ingenious idea. I put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds because it's all plastic. And then it killed the remaining flies. And then I poured the juice out into a bowl. That juice smells like, like decaying. I think it's probably similar to like a deceased person. I mean, it is just sick. But I poured the flies into a strainer and then flushed them down the toilet. And then I don't know. That's what my brain came up with. Hey, thanks, Shogun Love. All right, I'm gonna go get that one. Oh yeah, and the whole thing, I got to get rid of it. You know what? You can't get rid of it. Now you have this thing that's filled with liquid. What do? Bring it in your house, put it in the garbage can, and then all of a sudden there's 75 million flies in your garbage can? It's like this perpetual thing. And the more dead flies, the more flies it attracts. The wind blows, you have every fly in the county buzzing around trying to get into this damn thing. It looks like a beehive with actual flies on it. There's that many of them. It's unreal. It's unreal. Alright, I'll be back in just a second. Hey, thanks. Oh, funnel cake. Huh? Haven't you suggested that before?
Funnel cake from the fair. For an air freshener.
Yeah, that was fun. Thanks, Lori Fisher. Air freshener. Oh yeah, for the fly vomit smell. Yeah, you know, that's not a really good smell, gotta be honest. I don't think I need to tell anybody that fly vomit doesn't smell very good. I know that might be something that some people weren't sure of, but rest assured that a bucket of fly vomit does not smell very good. It actually has the potential of making you feel sick for the entire day. All right. Well, thank you guys for the little mini vacation there. We've had some good nights, even though tonight's we're only about 40%. You know, some of the other nights will make up for it, and it still keeps us on going. Thank you. Oh yeah, you. I'm kind of scared to even deal with that fly container tomorrow. Oh, hey, well, have fun, C. Dorton. Thanks for showing up, man. Dun, dun. Oh, yeah. You definitely don't want your taco salad now. I didn't want to eat for like 2 hours after smelling that. It made me sick. No. It's kind of just clear. It has a white lid thing that like a tent on the top of it. Yeah, we're probably going to do a double bag. I'm going to put tape on the top like I did, and then put it in the double bag, and then incinerate it. And if they have like a small nuclear warhead, I'd use that. But now I'm just going to put it in the garbage can in a double bag. That's what I'm going to do. You notice how Susanna hasn't really been here as much, but as soon as in that last article, they mentioned search dogs. And there she is. It's almost like somehow those search dogs she's right there. Oh, fly vomit tacos. Lynette Burns. Thank you. By the way, Lynette Burns she has a band. She sings in a band. If you can believe that. I just happen to know it's true because I've seen video of it. Oh yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, Beholder. I wouldn't doubt it. I got in trouble too because I brought the strainer over. I'd already thrown them all into the toilet and flushed them down, all the flies in a big ball. And then I went to the sink while she was cleaning dishes on the left, and on the right I kind of just tapped out the remaining fly in there. Didn't go well, everybody. Yeah. Classic though, right? Yeah. Yeah, well, it was in the other sink. There was there's two sinks there. Hey, look, you're getting a lot of support for me I put the fly in the other sink when I knocked it out. Yeah? Yeah, everyone's saying, God, great. they would be mad at me too.
Say I'm rinsing off the dishes and then you.
Yeah. She was rinsing off the dishes, and I'm in the other sink putting a... But I was trying to be helpful, okay? Yeah. Use the laundry. What do you mean? Yeah, the microwave worked pretty well. I put them in the microwave. There was some still buzzing around. I did 30 seconds in there, and they were all dead because there were still about 8 or so flying around inside the container. And I was just kind of wondering what I was supposed to do with those. So I put it in the microwave, and it killed all of them. And then after that, I got a strainer, a metal strainer out, and a measuring cup that's really big, and I put the strainer over that and dumped all of the disgusting juice and it kept all the flies in the strainer, okay? Then I took the flies in the strainer over to the toilet, knocked them into the toilet, put the juice back in for round number 2 for the flies, but now it's like the most incredible fly attractor in the history of mankind. Like if you literally rub that fly stuff all over your body and walk down the street, your entire body would be covered with flies. You wouldn't even be detectable as a human being. Hey, I think what I did made sense. Listen, doesn't it make sense? Listen. What are you supposed to... How do you get rid of the flies out of it? Okay? So I sealed the 4 holes that the flies go in. I went inside the house, but there were still 8 flying around. I nuked them for 30 seconds, killed all the flies. Then I took the liquid, dumped it through a strainer, kept the liquid, then went into the bathroom after it was, wasn't any more drops coming out. Put it into the toilet, flushed all the flies away, then poured the liquid back into the container, put the lid back on, and put that sucker back out. But then I took the little strainer into the right sink and kind of tapped it in there a little bit. There was still one more fly, and then, all hell broke loose. Yeah, but the strainer worked pretty good. Oh, I didn't need to... there was nothing on the outside. You don't need to really clean the microwaves, right? Because every time you turn it on, it kills everything. I mean, you could fill that sucker up with mold and it would... I didn't see any of them. Oh, yeah, well, I rinsed the strainer off outside because she made me leave the house whimpering. I sprayed the strainer, and then I brought it to the dishwasher and put it in there. Okay? So it's in the dishwasher along with the measuring cup. Listen, I thought it all made sense. You guys can't see how that made sense at all? What I did? If you can tell me a better thing to have done, if you wanted to keep catching flies, let me know. Yeah. Really? Look at Shogun Love. That's a bit extreme. Oh my God. I'd have to ask for it. Oh yeah. I have this other one that's sort of this bag that hangs down, but it didn't catch one fly. Not one fly flew into that one. Only a wasp. And now I'm wondering, was it really for flies or was it for wasps? Whatever. They look the same. Oh yeah. You guys are weird. You would divorce somebody for trying to take care of the fly problem? Man.
Gosh, Gray, they're really mean, aren't they?
Yes, they are, Mary Lou. Yes, they are. Man, they have really a low bar there. Oh yeah. Well, it's in the dishwasher, Lane S, so should be good. Hey, microwave was a great idea to kill the remaining 8. I thought that was pretty dang creative and outside the box thinking. Okay, none of you obviously thought of it. Maybe that's good, but, you know. Yeah. It was a great idea, Shogun. There was no metal in it. 30 seconds. It didn't, break anything. It just killed the remaining 8 flies. Can you think of a better way to have killed the flies that were in there? Because flies would have kept flying into that container for the next 8 years had I not stopped it at some point. You can't, Shogun. You can't think of one. You'd have to know the container. It had 4 holes in the top. I was a genius, man. Covered all 4 holes with duct tape. Hey, thanks, Meredith McKenzie. Covered all 4 holes with duct tape so they couldn't get out. Well, I'm not going to go up and read what you said. Hey, thanks, Lane S. Oh, that was a great idea. It worked perfectly. The only reason it didn't work perfectly is because she got mad that there was 1 fly left in the strainer. That was it. Okay, other than that, it worked flawlessly. It was perfect. Hey, there you go. I could make a mug, you're right, with a fly on it. No, you can't. That's what I'm saying. You can't put the... well, I guess I could have sprayed through one of the little holes, maybe. I guess. But who knows what chemical combination the juice and the bleach would have caused. Look at Shogun Love. I will never forget this. Oh God, like it's that traumatic. Hey, it wasn't your situation. I thought it was ingenious at the time. You know, we don't have a bleach spray bottle or anything like that sitting around. So, well, I hope you don't forget it because it's a little bit like lizard eyes, right? Just some weird moment in time. I thought it worked perfectly. None of you would have thought of the microwave. And maybe that's for good reason. But at the time, it worked out perfectly. It only took 30 seconds to kill them all without spraying the deadly bleach chemical around the house. Oh yeah. No, I want to just listen to it one more time. Well, if I tell it another time, will it make more sense? Okay, this thing's hanging from a string, has 4 holes in the top and a lid that unscrews, a plastic outside, and it has juice filled up to a line, right? So I was looking at it and I was thinking, well, I could bring this into the house, but 4 or 5 will escape through the hole. So I said, okay, and I went up and put little tiny pieces of duct tape over the 4 holes that the flies entered. Now they're sealed in there and they can't get out. So then I brought it into the kitchen and I put that whole container into the microwave because there was like 10 still alive and it's all made out of plastic. So I did a 30-second microwave and lo and behold, they're all dead, every one of them. So then I pour those into a strainer over another container so that we could keep the liquid to use for another round, but I didn't realize that another round would turn into the fly attractor from hell. I mean, it there was a baseball-sized ball of flies in that first one. So then I took the strainer, dumped the flies into the toilet, flushed them down. Now I just have and I put the lid back on the fly trap, so everything's good, right? And then I went to the sink and just kind of rinsed off the other one, but yeah. Okay, I guess it didn't really work telling it again the next time. No, we've never had all these flies before. I'm not sure. I think what happened was my wife used sort of a manure compost to plant and stuff around the yard. And I think flies kind of like that stuff. There might have already been some larvae or something in it. Well, it should have helped. You guys you should actually think that there's some pure genius in that whole plan. But just because it wasn't something you would have done doesn't make it not right. Yeah, we just have so many flies flying around. It was crazy. We've never had anything like that. So I think that's what it was. Thanks, Cammie Curry. I knew there was somebody out there that appreciated the plan. It was very quickly thought out, and it seemed to all come together nicely. Yep, that's right, Susanna MacGilla-Podrick. Yeah, no more manure compost. Yeah, I don't know what the hell she was doing with that. I guess if I didn't want to keep the trap, it would have been a lot easier. I could have just put it into a duffel bag, put it in the garbage, called it a day. So, but you know what? I didn't think of that because I was thinking, man, I can kill some more of these suckers. But what I didn't realize is I'm attracting flies from within a 5-mile radius. So I'm effectively killing the flies for the entire county of Multnomah. It's amazing. I should be charging people money. Yeah. All right, everybody. I'm gonna go. I gotta get off of this sucker right now. I mean, you guys wouldn't have believed how big the ball of flies was. It was literally, I think it weighed a half a pound. I mean, can you imagine how many flies that is? It's like a fist size. You know, if you made a fist and... Yeah, I think they might be for farms. And she put it in the grass, too, to give us more soil. So it's like the flies are just... Wee-hoo! You know, the flies are in the yard just breakdancing, you know. I think I've even heard Billie Jean playing a few times, and they're just popping and just, man. They're having the best time of their lives. They can't believe it. Are you kidding me? Right here? I'm not still explaining it though, Miss K. Man, we've been on here for 2 hours already. Yeah. Oh yeah, I gotta do that. Hey, Charleston Amy. Thanks for the PayPal there. I gotta get back to some Murdaugh. I was gonna go over that article one of these days. Yeah, half hour was the fly story. But it was a good story, right, Cece? Made you laugh a little bit. But here's the thing. It was all true, every bit. I guess I should be playing this sound effect. A fail. But this I did have this sound effect with the flies. There they go. All 800 of them. Yep. Okay. You guys ready to get on to the next crime related story? Oh yeah, it'll be something really similar. Yeah. It always does that shit. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right, Shogun. Me and Shogun would be divorced right now had we been married though. It's weird. Well, why did you guys get divorced? Well, he put the flies that he killed into a microwave. And then he strained them out into... I guess if you worded it in order, like if you literally say it out loud, it sounds freaking... it sounds nuts. Oh, God, it does. Listen, I can't... I have to admit, it does sound absolutely nuts, okay? Now that I really, I'm stepping back, and I was pretending to listen to it as a third party. Oh, man. Oh, that's pretty fun. But listen, it all worked, okay? It completely worked out, and other than I got mad, somebody got mad. Yeah, I couldn't even tell it again because I thought of it from your point of view. When I was telling it, it all just made sense. But then when I started telling it again, as if it was Shogun telling the story to the attorney, I was like, oh yeah, now that does sound pretty weird. That's right, it worked. Check. Well, the next one's going to be, I'm going to put the tape on the 4 holes and then just put it into 2 double garbage bags and put it in the trash can so that flies aren't attracted to the trash can while it waits to be picked up. Yeah. Thanks, CC. Yeah, I'm going to put some of that duct tape on there. Yeah, just the 4 holes, right? Because as soon as you move it, they start trying to get out. Yeah, I need to make it a lot more complex, right? Well, I bought this electronic car. You know, the ones that kids drive around? And I have these 2 clamps that'll come and grab it, and then I'll back it out. Yeah. Yeah, no, the duct tape is... I'm gonna use my drone, everybody. That's it. It's so simple. You just fly it in the air and drop it at somebody else's house. That's the answer, isn't it? Oh yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. You guys maybe come up with a new technique. Mavic 2. What's going on? Yeah, I got a package of flies to drop off. That'll be sweet. You know, what I should do is dump the bucket of flies on the neighbors that complained about my shed a couple years ago. Makes sense, doesn't it? You guys remember Shedgate? I'm really scared of the liquid that's in there at this point. It's like you can't lose sight of any of that stuff. I mean, you get one drop of that, it's just, I mean, flies come for miles. There you go. All right. Anyways, hey, you guys. I got to get through this other case. I don't even know if I can finish it now. I might skip through some of it. Oh, yeah. Oh, it does. It does smell terrible. I think it smells like decomposition. It's god-awful. No, I'm not talking about the Murdaws. I want to, on another show I will. I have something else in the title. All right, CC. Ah. Oh. The flies think you're their king. Oh, yeah, I'm sure they do. When they were put in the microwave. Watch Pedo get angry. Did you see Gray? He put flies in his microwave. You know, they're a being too. Okay, Peter. All right, you guys. Remember how they, I'm not a fan of Obama, but remember when he killed a fly and he was like, "Oh yeah." They said, "Well, you didn't have to kill it. You could, but they realized, they were serious, but they really kind of had to walk a tightrope there." Remember that one? That was crazy. PETA. Yikes. That was the only time I ever defended him, was when PETA attacked him for killing a fly. Yep, definitely a microwave safe fly container. Yeah, I'm not really interested in Reddit or any of that stuff. Yeah, it wouldn't shock me at all if Alex in the Murdaugh case was dating somebody else. Yeah, well, those are the ones that don't get solved very often, Stu. Electrocution? I don't know what that means, but yeah, I just saw them in there die, I mean, they're flies, for God's sakes. I mean, does anybody feel sorry for flies? When you squish one on a window, do you have any sort of, gosh, that was a fly too? Anybody care that much? I'm just curious. Does anybody really give a shit about a fly? Yeah. I don't either. I wish they were edible. In fact, I mean, I would love to just catch a bucket of them and serve them up on a. No, listen. Oh man, thanks, Lee D. That was a joke. Courtney Robb. Okay. I wish they were edible. Like crickets. People eat grasshoppers, right? Deep fry them sometimes. They're a little bit crispy, sure, but it was a joke. Okay, I'm not eating flies. It was a wish, though. Man, I almost have to turn on slow-mo because of the. I'm sure they are edible, but they wouldn't taste very good, I could imagine. Yeah, honey glaze. Not a bad idea, Dana Dane. Little. I could see sort of putting them on. They're all dead, and you spread them out evenly on a like a pan. Glaze them a little bit with maybe some butter, little honey, salt and pepper. Put them in the oven for don't know, 5 minutes or so until they're just crispy, you know? And then you can put them in a bag and sort of flip them up in the air like peanuts and eat them. I mean, my God, it'd just be... Oh yeah, do like the Bassomatic kit. Check that out on YouTube. Type in Bassomatic. The guy blends up wasn't a bass, but Dan Aykroyd blends that sucker right up and eats it. Drinks it. He literally drank it too. That's the thing. Yeah, I would eat something like a scorpion meat. I bet it tastes a little bit like a crawdad. Yeah, you know what's funny is hold on. No way. No, you tried cockroach, huh? Yeah, Lynette Burns she's actually probably yakking right now in the toilet. You know, she was starting to eat that nice taco dinner, and you know, when she saw the sauce that she was putting on there, it just ruined it all. Stepped on a cockroach and then took it. No. Wow, what a weirdo. Jeez. Did the vet actually treat it? Listen, it made sense to me, Shogun, except when I told the story later. That's all I can tell you. All right, you guys ready now? Can I get on to this, the final story? I don't even know if I can finish it, but I'm going to do it anyways. It's not a lot of details, but it keeps coverage of it over the years. Yeah. I hope they solve Call's case. Sounds like they're on the move. Something's happening. I was kind of happy I actually found where the trailer park where they lived at the time. I bet you my face appears on clips on newspapers.com more than almost anybody. All right, here we go. Teams search for missing girl. And this is in 2001, August 16th, is when she went missing. Police officers and rescue workers Friday scoured the woods around Candlestick Park, a mobile home community, looking for a missing 11-year-old girl. Shannon Nicole Paulk of Prattville was last seen in the community about noon Thursday, said Police Chief Alfred Wadsworth. It's not like her to stay away from home, said Shannon's mother, Maria Paulk. She knew everybody in the neighborhood and had a lot of friends she would play with. It's not unusual for her to be gone several hours, but she always came back home to get something to drink or eat before going back out again. Officers began searching the area about 9 p.m. Thursday. Members of the Autauga County Rescue Squad joined the effort Friday and searched the woods and creek banks behind the community as a state helicopter flew over the area. Police are treating the case as a missing person report. Neighbors describe Shannon as a friendly, trusting girl who often knocks on doors and asks to play with children or pets. She was such a sweet child, I felt she was like my granddaughter, said Maxine Kraft, a community resident. She would come and visit me a lot. Kraft, who said she has arthritis, said she would pay Shannon $1 or $2 when she would sweep off my porch for me, or pick up sticks in the yard. Shannon's mother left home for work about 7 a.m. Thursday, police reports say. The reports state that her 16-year-old daughter babysits. When Maria Paulk came back home at about 3 p.m., Shannon had not been home. She's only 11. So she has a 16-year-old daughter that babysits, but when she came home at about 3 p.m., Shannon had not been home. At about 7:15 p.m., the family became concerned and started asking neighbors if they had seen the girl. That's what Maria Polk said. About 20 or 30 Candlestick Park residents began looking for the girl, and the police were alerted at about 9 p.m. Thursday. Shannon's parents are divorced, and Shannon's father, Billy Joe Polk, lives in Eufaula. Officers checked and discovered she was not with her father. Billy Polk is not suspected of any wrongdoing in the missing person case. Police began searching the community and surrounding areas Thursday night, covering the park several times and going door to door Friday afternoon. Officers stopped traffic going in and out of the community Friday, displaying Shannon's picture and asking people if they had seen her. Yeah, I think I was actually able to find the home. It's like right here. There's no street view there. And there's a pond right there. But apparently later on they search in Cooter's Pond, this whole pond here, for her. Yeah. Man, you guys are nuts. You're still talking about the fly? I think my idea worked pretty well. FBI agents gave several family members of missing Prattville girl, including her mother, polygraph test Saturday. Shannon Nicole Paulk, 11, has been missing from her Candlestick Park home since Thursday. Maria Paulk, her mother, was at the Prattville Police Department about noon Saturday, waiting to take a polygraph test. This is standard investigative procedure. He was at Candlestick supervising another door-to-door search. The FBI is conducting the tests for us, he said. We are using the test to eliminate suspects. Right now, this is still a missing child case. 5 FBI agents are assisting in the investigation. So they were there pretty quick. Police find witness in missing girl case, they say. Authorities continued their search for Shannon Nicole Paulk, 11, and got a break with a description of a person seen with the missing girl. Until recently, the last known sighting of Shannon was at about noon on August 16th, the day she disappeared. Officials now say she was seen with a person with blonde hair and a ponytail later that day. They would not release the time of the sighting or if the person seen with Shannon was a man or woman. Rescue workers and law enforcement authorities have conducted intensive searches in the Candlestick Park area. On Thursday, Police Chief Alfred Wadsworth gave local media a tour through the command post which houses Shannon's task force. Let's see. The task force is made up of officers or agents from the Alabama Bureau of Investigation. Wadsworth was unable to give an exact number of people working the case. Numerous is all I can tell you. Let's see. While giving the tour, Wadsworth also announced that 2 arrests were made in 2 unrelated cases. The 2 men live in the same mobile home park as the missing girl, but officials stressed these were separate cases. So during the investigation, they actually arrested 2 other people with, like, I think I read later that it was some child pornography and all kinds of. Wadsworth said Jack Earl Reuter Beer Gibson 55 of, hey, here we go. Let's see how close that is. 1374. 1374 Metz Court. Let's see where that is. Should be right next to, yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean, that is, this person lives right near her home. I think those 2 people have a good chance of doing something or being associated with it, but they just weren't able to tie it together. That's crazy that this guy lives right there. So, Jack Earl Gibson lives right there. I'm going to put that in there. Oops. So that pretty much proves that that was the right house there. In another arrest, Ty K. Forrest of, here we go, 1633 Astros Avenue, Prattville. Oh man, another one right here. Ty Foster. Ty Cave. Alright, let's see what he did. 41 of 1633. Let me save it. Astros Avenue faces sodomy charges according to arrest reports. Additional charges for sex-related offenses are coming, the chief said. The chief said Foster's arrest came after several months of an ongoing investigation by the Prattville Police Department. Foster was arrested Wednesday night and is being held in the Prattville City Jail according to arrest reports. And this is on the 25th now, about a week later. Federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies have been searching for more than a week for a missing Prattville girl. Shannon Nicole Paulk, 11, was last seen about noon, August 16th at Candlestick Park, the mobile home community where she lives. Police are working the case as a missing person report. It's not like her to stay away from home. Neighbors describe Shannon as a friendly, trusting girl who often knocks on doors and asks to play with children. Shannon's mother left home for work at about 7 a.m. last Thursday, and her 16-year-old daughter, who's a babysitter, police reports say, when Mrs. Polk came back home at 3. Shannon had not been home, and about 7:15 the family got concerned and started asking neighbors if they had seen the girl, Mrs. Polk said. At about 20 or 30 park residents began looking for the girl. A command post has been set up for the efforts. Wadsworth said police will maintain a strong presence in the park. The task force is looking into the disappearance, meets daily to discuss the investigation. We are still working on our timeline and ask anyone who may have seen Shannon to call the hotline and give us that information. Sounds like they don't really have any timeline information, which is, really important. Yeah. Several parents say they are watching their children a little more closely. I went to Walmart Sunday, the day before school started, said Michelle Michaels, also of Prattville. Never go to Walmart just before school starts. Everybody in Autauga County was shopping there. My son is 9. Usually I let him look in sporting goods while I'm shopping, but not Sunday. I made him stay right with me. It drove him crazy. See how these incidents, they just change everything? So these stupid ass murderers and killers and abductors, they don't just destroy that person. It's like every single person is affected. Psychos. And that's another picture of her. Authorities released 3 photographs of Shannon Paulk this week, hoping Tri-County residents may have seen her. The 11-year-old Prattville girl disappeared from her Candlestick Park neighborhood on August 16th. So they just put out some more pictures. And then this is October, so about 2 months later. Rabbit hunters found the badly decomposed remains of a young white female Saturday afternoon, but officials aren't saying if it's the remains of a Prattville girl missing for more than 7 weeks. Shannon Nicole Polk, 11, disappeared from her Candlestick Park neighborhood August 16th. We are very interested in what has been found, said Prattville Police Chief Alfred Wadsworth. The body has been taken to the forensic sciences for an autopsy and identification. We can't say if it's Shannon right now. However, there are no other missing persons reported out there fitting the description of the body that was found today. The body was found off an old fire lane in the Autauga County Game Management Area. The management area is a public hunting preserve of more than 500 acres, about 15 miles north of Prattville. See, I think I found that spot. There was a map in one of these other... So this is Prattville right here, the town, and she was found right up in here. Like really, as a matter of fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if it was off this road. They just drove in and put her body somewhere in there. Golich said he passed the remains twice that morning before he discovered it. To be a body. My heart goes out to the family, he said. Ziegler is familiar with where the body was found, and like other residents, he kept alert for information which could assist in the search. Yeah, it's kind of the same in the case of what is it? Lyric and Elizabeth Cook up in Iowa. They told hunters to look out, and I think that's actually how somebody came across their bodies at some point. I hunt these woods all the time, and as long as she had been missing, I kept in mind that if she would be found, it would be in the wooded area. The Polk family would not talk to the media. They, of course, were devastated, Beard said. It's very hard watching the TV news and hearing information like this. The hunters reported the body to the Autauga County Sheriff's Department about 12:45 p.m. The Sheriff Department then informed the Prattville Police Department, the lead agency in the investigation. The two agencies, along with the Alabama Bureau of Investigation, FBI, and District Attorney's Office, are part of a task force searching for Shannon. Shannon's disappearance devastated Prattville. I was heartbroken when I heard the news, Candy Gibson of Prattville said Saturday. The fact that the body was dumped in the management area leads Jason Smith of Autauga County to believe a local person is responsible. You had to know where the place was to do something like that. Sound familiar? Yeah. That means the son of a bitch is still out there. I can say that word. That the son of a bitch is still out there and walking our streets. Wadsworth cautioned parents to exercise caution. You need to watch your children at all times, the chief said, but we have someone out there who took a child. Parents need to exercise good common sense about where their children go and what they do. Okay, that's similar to the last one. Had some different information in the this part though. This witness is wanted for questioning in Shannon Paulk's disappearance. I guess they made like a, looks like almost like a clay model. My heart goes out to the family, he said. I guess we've all known sooner or later this news was coming. Maybe the family will get some comfort in the future by knowing what happened. The body was discovered by rabbit hunters. The task force investigating Shannon's disappearance was checking out potential suspects in the case Sunday. The force is made up of Alabama Bureau of Investigation, Autauga County Sheriff's Department, District Attorney's Office, FBI, and Prattville Police Department. Investigators released the composite of a man who was being sought as a witness in the case. The man was last seen with Shannon the afternoon she disappeared. That's what they're saying. Body identified as of that of girl. So now they confirmed that that was her. The body found October 6th in a wooded area 15 miles north of Prattville has been identified. State forensic scientists used DNA to identify the remains, Prattville Police Chief Alfred Wadsworth said Tuesday. The cause of death is still under investigation. Shannon was last seen in the vicinity of the Candlestick Mobile Home Park, where she lived. Her body was found by rabbit hunters. A special task force of law officers from local, state, and federal agencies are assigned to the case. So that was her. I think that's probably pretty obvious at that point. There's the mother right there. The parents of slain Prattville girl are speaking out for the first time since their daughter's funeral in an effort to thank those who rallied around the family during the search for her. We want them to find out who did this, said Billy Paulk, father of Shannon Nicole Paulk, 11, who vanished August 16th. Mary Paulk, who buried her daughter October 19th after the girl's body was found by hunters in a secluded public hunting area about a month ago, feels the person who is responsible for Shannon's death will be brought to justice. It's important to see the person stand trial, Murray Polk said. That's the next thing. That's the next big thing we have to face, she said. I know it won't bring Shannon back, but it may help us feel like the person has paid. I want to see him in court. The hunters who found Shannon's remains attended her funeral. We know what happened now, Billy Polk said. We don't have to wonder. The funeral was hard to get through, but it gave the family a chance to mourn. Yeah, so these are just this is December now. The Autauga County E911 system is looking at reversing in a move to go forward. The local Project Impact Program, a federal emergency preparedness program, is seeking a reverse 911 capability for the county. Oh, like an Amber Alert. Yeah, that's exactly what that's like. Yeah, those are good. You know, because as soon as she was abducted, you could have had people looking, and maybe they would have spotted somebody that looked like her. All right, and then in 2003, Shannon Paulk's mom yearns for the killer's capture. Marie Paulk lives every day with the anxiety that the person who killed her daughter 2 years ago has not been caught. At the same time, though, the fears that she will have to endure when that person is caught. I dread having to go through a trial and hearing and seeing everything that happened to my little girl. I have to be there, Polk said. I have to look at the person who did this. Yeah, that would probably be pretty dang tough. Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. 2006. And this happened in 2001, just before 9/11. So I wonder if this probably... There's a few other girls that were missing too, again. It's very similar to that last case. Wednesday will be 5 years since Shannon Paulk, then 11 years old, was reported missing from her Candlestick Park home. Her body was found almost 2 months later by hunters at the Autauga County Wildlife Management area. There have been no arrests, but the investigation continues, according to the investigator Sergeant Robert Furlong. We recently flew up to National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and sat down with investigators on 2 other cases that are similar to Shannon, Furlong said. We are still working on the case. In fact, we have never stopped. We will not give up. I truly believe we will solve this case. A crew from television show America's Most Wanted will be in Prattville next week to film a segment on the anniversary of Shannon's disappearance. It will be aired in September. Local authorities are hopeful the national attention will draw phone calls and perhaps more information. There are still many questions regarding Shannon's case, but somewhere in the information, investigators believe there is an answer and a clue to the identity of Shannon's killer. 5 years ago, between 2 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. on the day she disappeared, Shannon was seen talking to a man in the trailer park. There were several witnesses who saw the girl with the man, but one of them was able to remember amazing details through her first interview with officers. Later, under hypnosis, even more of her memory was revealed. The following is the information gleaned from multiple interviews. It was about a week before school began, and many of the neighborhood children were out enjoying the last few days of summer vacation. It wasn't uncommon for Shannon to be seen around the neighborhood, visiting with friends and neighbors. The witness said Shannon was talking with a man who was... he was wearing a blue t-shirt that was too big for him and faded blue jeans. He had on blue Nike tennis shoes. The witness said that Shannon appeared to recognize the man, but did not introduce him to her, so she didn't think the child knew his name. When the witness left and came back about 30 minutes later, Shannon, the man, and the vehicle were gone. No one ever saw Shannon alive again, as far as anyone knows. By 9 p.m. that day, police had been summoned to the trailer park, and searches began in earnest. In the next few days and weeks, volunteers from all over nearby counties came out to search through wooded areas and canvass the entire county. October 6, 2 hunters were in the Autauga County Wildlife Management area and found her body. The case was featured that year on America's Most Wanted. To date, there are multiple agencies currently investigating the case. Yeah. So I'm going to move on to the next one. And about 2 weeks after that, August 2006, man sought in missing case. Authorities are seeking the identity of a man a witness saw with a missing Prattville girl the day she disappeared. Shannon Nicole Paulk, 11, disappeared from her Candlestick Park neighborhood on August 16th. So this is the face of the person who, under hypnosis, was like, yeah, that's him, yeah. We are treating him as a witness. No, he's your suspect. I mean, don't try to pretend. Nobody's being tricked by that. It's not going to trick him either. Okay, then September. Murdered Girls Case Net's Most Tips. When America's Most Wanted aired its story September 2nd concerning the 5-year anniversary of Shannon Paulk murder, the show received more than 200 tips, the highest amount ever for a single aired show. That night we received over 100 tips, which were more than half of all the tips we received for the entire night. Because they have like 3 or 4 cases. Well, that's pretty cool. All right, then March 2007, Shannon Paulk segment on TV Tonight. So I guess there's another segment. America's Most Wanted will broadcast a segment tonight on Shannon Paulk, the 11-year-old Prattville girl. The show will deal with a new lead out of South Carolina and a disturbing phone call made to Marie Paulk, Shannon's mother. I want to know more about that. We feel this new lead is promising, but every lead is promising, said Prattville Police Chief. This is still an active case, and we check every bit of information we receive. Wadsworth didn't want to elaborate on the nature of the call Marie Paulk received. Robert Furlong, the lead Prattville investigator in the case, flew to Maryland on Friday so he could be on hand for the broadcast. Oh my God, my daughter was 11 at the time, too, said Molly Phelps. I can't remember not letting her out of my sight for the longest time. I still don't like for her to go off by herself. I guess that's every mother's feeling, but after Shannon disappeared, you realize it could happen anywhere, even here in Prattville. Alright, so then 4 years later, in 2011, that's the mother right there. I think that's her. That might be your mom over here. Hold on. Family members: Johnny Fur kneeling at the left, Lisa Haney, James Davis, and Jeanette Davis gather with her. I think this is her mother right here. Marie Stroud around her gravesite. Alright, Shannon Paulk would be 21 years old now. Tuesday marks the 10th anniversary of the day 11-year-old Shannon was abducted. No arrests have been made in what has become Prattville's most infamous crime. A decade ago, Prattville population was about 24,000, but the city still had a small town feel. Prattville has long prided itself on a low crime rate. For anyone living here around August 16th or 17th, 2001, all you have to do is say Shannon, and they know exactly who you're talking about. The lost innocence still is felt today after Shannon's disappearance. Parents kept their children closer. Youngsters just didn't jump on their bikes and ride the 2 or 3 blocks to a friend's house anymore. Doesn't that suck? Jeez. That's all we ever did when we were kids. And there's the funeral right there. Each year that goes by, each day that goes by makes it more difficult to solve the case, he said. But you never give up hope. There are great strides being made in medical technology every day. Well, it kind of makes you think that hopefully something... it just got shut down on that. So now we're moving to 2017. Now let's look at this. That damn drawing, just like this, So think of the Delphi sketches, all right? Drawing of suspect in Paulk case discounted. For 15 years, investigators in the Shannon Paulk case have been chasing a ghost. The composite drawing of the suspect, the drawing that was published and broadcast nationally as part of the investigation, has been deemed not credible. New evidence that came forward Tuesday shows the composite is not a likeness of a suspect in the case, said District Attorney Randall Houston. I wonder if they're just saying, well, it's not the suspect we believe it is, so of course it can't be it doesn't look like him. I mean, but, I don't know if that means anything. How do you know she still didn't see somebody that looked like that, but it doesn't look like who you think it is, so now you're discounting. Until yesterday, but again, it was hypnosis, right? Until yesterday, law enforcement had absolutely no reason to believe anything other than the composite was a likeness of the suspect in the case. New information that has come out outside the grand jury process proves that the composite is not credible. Proves it, huh? Interesting. That's kind of an interesting statement. It proves that it's not credible. Houston would not go into specifics about why. Yeah, see? That's because whatever proves it is something relevant to the case, and he can't say that. On Mondays, special investigative grand jury was impaneled in Autauga County to review Shannon's case. The 11-year-old Prattville girl was reported missing from her Candlestick Park neighborhood on August 16, 2001. Her body was found by rabbit hunters. Her disappearance and death have become Prattville's most infamous crime. No one has ever been charged in the case. It is being investigated as a homicide. Houston wouldn't speculate on how much damage the use of the bogus composite has done to investigation. Would we have gone in another direction if we had known the composite wasn't credible? Of course we would have. There's no way of knowing how this is affected. See, now it's like, well, did that whole thing even happen? Was there really her talking to this guy, and the lady there didn't get his name, and then she disappeared with the guy? I mean, it's crazy. So what fact is there now? That she just went missing? And it's terrible. For years, stories about the case were usually printed or broadcast by the media with the composite leads came in, and investigators checked every lead, but we never got a viable suspect. Houston is asking the public to contact Prattville Police Department. And that number is probably still good. 334-595-0244. Okay, and then in 2018, Polk grand jury may continue. So they must be on to something. It remains Prattville's most infamous crime. A little girl lost whose body was found in the woods. 11-year-old Shannon Paulk disappeared from the Candlestick Park Late summer of 2001, her remains were discovered by rabbit hunters about 2 months later. In February 2017, a special investigative grand jury was impaneled to look into the case. It was the first such grand jury formed in Autauga County for at least the past 25 years. Longtime courthouse observers say, or that's what they say, usually grand jury term is a year. District Attorney Randall Houston is asking the courts to extend the panel's term. He declined to give specifics about the case, citing the Grand Jury Secrecy Act. I can tell you that ALEA continues to work the investigation, and we continue to need the grand jury, he said. We have cleared 2 or 3 subjects, which is progress. We don't want to... A second. That's pretty big. This is the last one. We don't want to start over with a new grand jury. I don't think we'll have any problem getting to court to extend the grand jury's term. The group of 18 people has met periodically, Houston said. Seating a grand jury gives investigators more options. For the last year, the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency Cold Case Unit has been looking into Shannon's case exclusively. Just getting the mountain of evidence from all agencies are working the case together in one place is an accomplishment in itself. Technology has improved so that evidence that was collected then that couldn't be tested for forensic can now be tested. Man, hopefully they're doing that right now. It's even better now. I honestly feel that we have the best chance of solving this case now than we have in the past 16 years. The grand jury has legal powers that can move the investigation along, Houston said recently. It's not illegal to lie to the police during an interview, he said. It is illegal, however, to lie to the grand jury. The grand jury can force you to comply with their orders. It didn't take long for the effort to bear fruit, if you can call it that. Oh, this is going to be about that. Within 48 hours of the panel beginning its work in 2017, it was announced that the suspect composite drawing that had been published and broadcast across the nation wasn't credible. The young girl who gave the description at the time, now an adult, told authorities that she concocted the image in an effort to help the investigation. Ah, jeez. So nothing was accurate at all. The case, which has always remained active, has sent local, state, and federal investigators across the nation chasing leads. There have been ups and downs, peaks and valleys. The facts around the case were broadcast several times by a popular television program. Of course, they were using the drawing in them. For those living in the Prattville at the time, the specter of the case still looms large 4 years after parents kept close rein on their children. No longer were youngsters allowed to ride their bikes to friends' homes just a few doors down the street. Children played under vigilant eyes in local parks and ball fields. It has been said that Prattville, that sleepy little farm town of Prattville, grew up in the aftermath of Paulk's abduction. Residents' eyes were opened, just like this is. I mean, not to keep bringing up Delphi, but that's exactly the same thing. It was totally different there before. The innocence is lost when shit like this happens. Residents' eyes were opened to the fact that evil exists in the world. Wow, that's almost exactly the same thing that Carter said. This wasn't supposed to happen here, not in Prattville. Paulk would have been 27 today. I really hope they can find something, not only for Shannon's parents and family, but for Prattville too, said Grace Bryant, 28, of Prattville, and a mother of 2 young children. I remember when she went missing, how scary it was. Now that I have children of my own, I understand what her parents must be going through all this time. Houston remains hopeful. The good news is the case remains active. It is being worked, he said. As long as that is the case, we have a chance. Well, there you go. Pretty crazy, huh? Man. Yeah, well, fear takes away freedoms from people. You know, it's sort of similar even with the virus right here. You know, it's like, oh, wow. Everybody, you know, we got to do this. At this point, I think it should just be, if you don't want to get your vaccine, you are assuming the risks that come with it. Okay? I think it's stupid not to get vaccinated. But if you don't want to, you are just assuming the risk. One of the problems with it, though, is that you become sort of an incubator and spreader. And, you know, now we're all controlled by this now. You know, it's crazy. We're all being controlled by the coronavirus and, you know, different things that are, you know, you can't go on the cruise ships wanted to be for vaccinated people only, which actually seems really responsible, doesn't it? I mean, you have a cruise ship with people packed in. You would think that's, and now they, you know, the other people have to sign a waiver, but then maybe other people won't want to go because these people could get really sick on there. And the people that were vaccinated, you know, it's only 90% effective. So 10% of the people on there would actually catch the damn thing. And then a percentage of those might actually be hospitalized. Even though if you're vaccinated, the antibodies fight it. Anyways, let's see, that's going on right now. I mean, just look at all of the things that fear ends up controlling the lives of people. And you want to hear something crazy? Remember how if you were on Twitter and you mentioned that the virus came from a lab in Wuhan, China, in their actual coronavirus research lab, you were immediately flagged and you were banned off of there. Like you were some crazy wacko. Now that's kind of what everybody's thinking. Because it was the truth. Do you guys remember I told you to watch those two YouTubers? They were on top of that shit from the beginning. And these are like, they're not even crime YouTubers. They were like Chinese culture YouTubers, but they were able to look and they knew exactly what was going on. They saw, the guy could read Chinese. He saw these lab in Wuhan, and there was actually like a job opening for it. And he went through the whole damn thing. Okay. And so they knew exactly what was going on, and it made all the sense in the world. And it's crazy how they're end up going to be right. Here's what I would do, everybody. I think we owe China like, I don't know, $2 or $3, $4 trillion, and because of, you know, loaning us money because we spend way more than we take in because we're just idiots as a country. So why don't we just say to China, all the people you killed and all of the worth and things that you've destroyed in their country, we're just going to write that off, and we're going to start over from here. That's what I would try to do. I would just do it. We are paying you nothing. What we owed you pays your debt to us. Okay? In fact, we might even bill you more. So call it a favor on our part. Huh? Are you talking about this case we're talking about? They have DNA in it? It feels like they had DNA. That's why they were... Or which case are we talking about here? Yeah. Polk. They have DNA. Found that in another pervert's transcript from Candlestick. What do you mean pervert's transcript? What are you talking about? 1-to-1 comparison. No CODIS because there's not enough markers. Well, then that doesn't really matter then. It doesn't even help. You can't do genetic genealogy with a sample that doesn't have enough markers. Doesn't work. I've already asked that question. You'd have to keep yeah, well, was it one of those two guys in the trailer park? The Jack Earl Gibson or Ty K. Foster, who lived right there? These guys? I mean, they're just right there. You think what was? Is this an Indiana case or something, or? Oh. Yeah, well, it seems like they probably have something. No, it wouldn't work. No, CODIS means that they don't have enough DNA to get a sequence. I mean, I guess if they had this, I don't know. If you listen to what Colleen was saying, if you have degraded DNA, you can keep putting it through and putting together the entire sequence because it's all it's fragmented, right? When it's what was the term again? Degraded. Oh, okay, well, you shouldn't have had me cover it then, Ivy Rose. I just thought it was a random case that you wanted me to cover. I just want to do it the way I do it. I'm not into all your other stuff that you're doing. You know, you're doing research on it, but what for? You know, it's like they're already going to investigate it. I'm just putting the story out there. Let's see. I have a bunch of RA meds with little help. Oh. I don't know what that means. Hey, my brother's a rheumatologist, Amber. Yeah. No, well, somebody. I mean, if you guys are all working on it, just do it on your own thing. You know what I like is when you just send me something that's just kind of random. Hey, has anybody checked at this? I don't know if you sent it, Ivy, or not, but somebody sent it to me. Right, okay, yeah, you sent it. Okay. I don't even know. When I get emails, I just look at the case. I don't know who's sending them or anything. Unless I'm having a constant interaction with somebody over a case. Yeah. So hopefully, you know, it sounds like they obviously are on a roll here. I'm sure there's more updated information. What about these two guys right here, though? Were any of these guys of interest to them? Yeah. Yeah, because it just seems so obvious that you have two guys here that are sex offenders in the same, and they're arrested at the same time, but they just probably couldn't link. You know, you could easily see her just kind of walking around and maybe stumbles upon one of these guys. He brings her into, you know, abducts her. I don't even, maybe even just kept her in his unit until nighttime or something, and then drove away. I mean, who the hell knows, right? Probably, or just took her right away to a spot. They were checking this lake I saw in some photograph, for sure. What is the investigator told you? They usually can't tell you anything anyway. So, and you talk to them, but it's. Yeah. Well, my brother's really good at. It's up in Seattle, though. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Bunny Lee. I'm in Spokane. Oh, well. Should go try to see Grant. Grant Hughes at UW. Yeah, see if we can help you out. I was talking to Amber. Why would I? Who are you talking about, Beholder? I don't even know what you're talking about. Well, hey, Cold Truth, what did the guy tell you? Did he tell you anything interesting? Because I know when I talk to investigators, they really might go over what's known, but they don't really tell you a lot of extra stuff. Or was this all you were wanting to go over? Now that it's over, all the people that were there watching it left. I just do it the way I do it, go over the newspapers, and I don't have any inside information. I don't have time either to, the difference is I have to do shows every single night. So there's a few that I keep working on the side, talking to family members, but the rest of them, you just don't have time. What lady? Oh, that one? Cold Justice? Yeah. Yeah, but she also got in trouble. Oh, yeah? Well, there's something similar in the Delphi case to what you just said a minute ago. So. Yeah, no, it's cool. I thought it was just some random case. I didn't know that you guys are all. Because what the problem is that a lot of times people, they're really into something over and over. They're really into something. Then they send it to me. And then I don't do every single thing that they got because they've been in these Reddit threads or talked to a family member or whatnot. And then they get all frustrated. Like I was supposed to take that much time as well. I don't. I mean, I can spend 3-4 hours maybe. That's how I gathered all the... we had to go through and find all the newspaper clippings that are a little different. What was the other... Oh, I can't remember what I was going to say. Yeah, so, I don't know. I just don't want to make it so it's disappointing when it doesn't have everything that you had. Yeah, I think there was some kind of an issue with her show, like she got sued, or I can't remember exactly what it was. But you guys remember that? I liked her though when she was on there. I don't know. Seems like they're on it already. Cold Truth. I don't think they need any more pressure. I think they're. Now when you say funding, do they have, if they have genetic genealogy and they want funding, tell them, hey, we can raise the funds. At the end of each month, all we need is it's usually about $7,000 for the really tough cases. So if you send in, tell them to get a hold of Identifinders International with Colleen Fitzpatrick. Call your buddy up. And if they don't have the funds, because it's this little tiny town of, Prattville, then we'll try to do it. What do you think of that? Because we've already got 2 cases in the works right now with Identifinders. But I don't think they need to be pressured. They're working on it. They have a cold case unit apparently that only is looking at that case, or at least it was in 2018. Well, go look it up, Holly. I don't know. I just remember reading something about it. Yeah, I've never heard of it myself. There's a million cases just like this. Like the first one we did is exactly the same, right? Okay, well, tell them, Cold Truth, that if they want to work on this one, that I would be willing to fund, through the channel here, the freaks, the genetic genealogy attempt, if they've got DNA. And so all they have to do is get a hold of Identifinders and let them know that. Okay, Identifinders International with Colleen Fitzpatrick, and we can do that. What do you think of that? And I'm not kidding either. It's a real thing. Yeah, because we've already put $13,500 into 2 other cases. So you tell them that. Get a hold of Colleen Fitzpatrick at Identifinders. We'll do it. All right? And thanks for sending the story. I just felt sort of like, oh my God, I don't want to like screw it up, because you probably had other information. I didn't even know you were working on anything. I found a whole bunch of, like, literally 50 different newspaper articles on it. They even did another one on the 2 suspects. I should have kept that one. What would you be emailing me about, Bunny Lee? Oh, it's in my email's in the description. It's right here, though. Yeah, well, get a hold of that detective tomorrow, then. Cold Truth. Let's do it. Let's get it done. If they've actually got degraded DNA, I don't know if you saw that case from a couple months, like a month ago or so, that Identifinders solved. They solved a case that had almost no DNA at all. It was this tiny, 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 tiny sample that was very degraded, and they were able to get it put into they were able to do it over and over and over again with enrichment and so forth to get a sequence out of it. And then they solved the case in 2 hours with their genius genealogist, Misty, who they were both on the show. You might want to go look it up on YouTube, because they were on the show with me talking about it. And it was incredible. She just picked sort of the right path, and boom, boom, boom. A lot of times it takes a hell of a lot longer than that. But it was pretty amazing. And they're the ones you want to go to if you have a poor DNA sample, because they're really nimble. It's not a sort of one size fits all outfit where you put the DNA and just kind of blow it all, and yeah, it didn't work, sorry guys. This is like really hands-on, really kind of nurturing the DNA, and they get it done. Okay, if you want anybody to get something solved with DNA, it's going to be Identifinders and Colleen Fitzpatrick. Now, well, Centimorgans, that's something different. Yeah, Centimorgans is the I don't know what they had on the Centimorgans count, but the DNA that they had, Centimorgans just means how much of a match that other uploaded individuals are. It was some kind of something in grams, but it was, you know, it was like picograms or some crap. I mean, it was like the smallest little, like it wouldn't even fit on the edge of a pin. It was just tiny. Here, I'll actually load it up. Let's see. Let's see. There we go. Here, I'll read this to you guys. Hold on. Hey, thank you, Beholder and Amber Maiden. 1972 Beyond Hope homicide solved in two. Look at Beyond Hope homicide. You guys see this? This is amazing. Watch this. Identifiers International, and we actually covered this case before they solved it. I didn't even know that they were doing anything with it. Identifiers International, in conjunction with Naperville Police Department, is pleased to announce the arrest of Barry Lee Welpley as a suspect in the murder of 15-year-old Julie Hanson. Julie was last seen on July 7th, 1972. Hey, thanks, Holly. When she left home on her bicycle to watch a baseball game. She was found several miles from her home in a rural area the following day. She had been sexually assaulted and stabbed multiple times. This is 1972, okay? 50 years ago. Numerous individuals were DNA tested, no CODIS hit was achieved, and the case went cold. This was never a cold case for our police department, said Chief Robert Marshall. The Hanson case was considered high risk because after 50 years, the crime scene DNA was severely degraded and believed to be unusable. And that was believed to be unusable by another one of the really big companies that do exactly what I'm talking about right now. The sample, and the most famous one, okay, they couldn't do it. The sample was also very low quantity, consisting of 360 picograms of DNA. That is only 0.3 trillionth of a gram. I mean, that wouldn't even be, that's like an atom. I mean, it's just so freaking tiny. 0.3 trillionths of a gram. In November 2020, the Naperville Police Department contacted Identifiers International to try to solve the case using forensic genetic genealogy as a last resort. Hey, thank you, TTJO. Over the next 6 months, Identifiers faced numerous challenges in creating viable genetic genealogy data without a guarantee of success. Yet once that data was uploaded to the genetic genealogy database, GEDmatch, the case was solved in only 2 hours. It was actually 2.5. She said, well, yeah, 2 sounds better, but it was 2.5. Okay. We are very happy and filled with a sense of tremendous meaning. I told them when they were on the show that I couldn't believe, I mean, imagine how amazing it must feel to be one of them that actually do the genealogy themselves and solve a case after all that time. It's unreal. We are honored that the Naperville Police Department trusted us to work on this groundbreaking case, said Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick, president of Identifiers International. It was one of the highest risk cases we've addressed to date because of the very poor condition of the DNA. Solving such a difficult case fuels our passion for supporting law enforcement by solving cases that were thought to be over the horizon of modern technology. So you got to admit right there, you guys kept saying cold justice, but Cold truth. Isn't that exactly what they're looking for? Is this right here? This is the company that case, the case of, hold on, let me get the folder. Where's my folder? Yeah, Shannon Paulk. It's hard to remember that long name. Shannon Nicole Paulk. 11 years old. And if they have a DNA sample, then these are the people that they want to contact. All right. So do it. Get on that phone tomorrow. I'm going to start hounding you now. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, seriously, if they don't have the funds and they really want to get this done, let's do it. It might be something where after this month, I'm going to be donating some more money to like Texas EquiSearch and our DNA fund, but that'll only be like $1,000, and then maybe $2,000 more. We've already done 500 this month, and then Texas EquiSearch, maybe Rain, and then after that, if they want to do it, I'll just keep loading that sucker up. Okay, that would only be about 2 more months. After that, we'd have 7,000 or 8,000 in there, if we keep up the same pace that we're always doing. I know, it's crazy, isn't that, Amber? Yeah, it's weird. I didn't even think about that until I thought maybe they had some DNA just based on how they're talking, but it sounds like Cold Truth there knows that they have DNA, and it's just a poor quality. So, maybe there is a way, if it didn't get on the CODIS, if it's just, the reason they couldn't do that is because it's fragmented and they didn't go through the, that enrichment process, or not enrichment, sequencing, I guess it is, where you kind of find different fragments and find where there was some, another area that was exactly the same, and then that overlaps, so then you have that, and then you continue on. So maybe they didn't do that. Yeah, you can give them my email. Yep. Yeah, you can give them my email, give them identifiers. It might be cool to do like a phone call, if I could get it where, we're on the phone at the same time with Colleen, just to see how that goes. Man, that'd be freaking nuts, man. Or maybe I'd have to get off the phone, because it's now it's at a law enforcement level, Yeah, look at that right down here. See that? On the new identifier's website, we're right at the bottom down here. It should say freaks of, but that's a little too much, right? But there you go. All right, everybody. Well, I think we're at 3 hours and 24 minutes. So I'm going to be getting off of here for now. But now I'm pumped. Man, it's crazy how that turned into something better. I was kind of like, oh shit, I probably didn't even cover it correctly if they had all this near and dear to my heart. Bring innocent men from prison, or yeah, well they use it all the time, Phoebe. Who are the 3 that you're talking about? Cold Truth. Yeah, it'd be cool to. Yeah, I would love to talk to the guy. and let them know, because I think if they read that article that I just why don't you should I send you that article, because that's exactly what they're looking for. Oh, well, thanks, Monica. Well, you won't know that out there on the Facebook world or YouTube. They would all think I'm
Gray, you're so mean.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh, that'd be freaking awesome. Cold truth. Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah. I'm not even. I mean, I'm just pumped now. I mean, what do you think what do you think the odds of them being interested in doing this are, just based on what you know? I mean, especially since it's going to be, it wouldn't even cost them a nickel. Yeah. Oh, and also, Monica, you probably missed my story earlier with my my fly trap. You might think differently. People didn't like my technique. Yeah. Now let me tell the story again. Okay, so we had. Okay, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Oh, you heard that? Okay. All right. Well, okay. Well, if you survive through the fly trap story, then everything's good. Oh, really? He's retiring soon. Okay, if he's retiring soon, then say, hey, this is your shot right here. Because you get a new person in there, they're going to be like, well, let me spend, I mean, I'm going to get in. And there's less chance. This guy knows how hard it is. So you got to get him to really buy into this. I think it'll work. But you think you want me to send you that link, or just kind of wait, you talk to him and see what happens? Okay, good. Well, I meant it to be kind of funny, the story, but I didn't realize how idiotic I sounded when I pretended that Shogun Love was divorcing me, and at the hearing literally said it out loud. Then I went, oh shit, man, that really does sound like a lunatic. You know, it's a little bit like on Back to the Future. You know, the guy that was working on the professor? That's what it probably appears. Just something crazy. The guy that was trying to get the what the hell's the name of that thing? That vehicle to fly. Yeah. Yeah, the dock. Yeah. All right. Well, let me know if you want me to send. Okay, you want me to send you that link? I'll just put it in here. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. Right here. Yeah, well, I don't need all that last part. Hold on. Boom. Okay, that should go right there. You got that? Let me know if you get that link. I just put it in the description there. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I should make like a little short movie. As a matter of fact, I should just show you exactly the same thing that I did on the next batch. And it really is a batch. There's literally 500 or 600, maybe 800 flies in that. Yeah, I know sometimes I can be, listen, I know that sometimes I can be an ass or whatever. Maybe I'm not in a good mood. I'm just like the rest of you guys. but I'm doing a show every single night, you know. So you get to see me every single way that I am. Sometimes I'm in a good mood, sometimes I'm in a shitty mood, sometimes I'm tired, sometimes I'm, you know, cranky, sometimes I'm happy, but I'm always a little bit funny. All right, well now I'm pumped, so good. It worked out perfectly. I bet you weren't even thinking about that. Cold truth. I wasn't even either. I was just like, oh, wait, we're already doing this. This is the perfect marriage of a type of DNA case for identifiers, and it's a relatively big. You know, there's been videos. There are videos on YouTube, but they're pretty, you know, it's not big YouTubers. There's even interviews with, I just saw it right before the show. I was going to go check them out, but just to see what the mother, I think it was a mother or grandmother, was saying. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, and so that's the thing, everybody. When we're at the end of the month, it's only because of the generosity of all the freaks that allows us to, like, for me to have my channel, supports my channel, and being able to do what we're doing. And, you know, for anybody new that's just watching, last year we donated $22,000 for 2020, but this year we're at $22,500. $2,000 was a matching that somebody, Jeff S, did, but you know, I'm adding it there because he was just going to send it to me to put it in there, but I said, yeah, just go do it directly. But he put that in identifiers. So we have $13,500 in the DNA fund. Texas EquiSearch has $1,800. The Innocence Project, $500 so far. I'll probably give them some more this month. And then I think it was Charlie Project, $500. And then RAIN is a Violence Against Women and Backlog Testing of DNA Kits, $2,000. National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, $2,700. And the Libby Abbey Ballpark, $1,500. So that's all really significant amounts. You get what I'm saying? And right now, I mean, the goal this year was going to be 30, but I think we can get to like 30. I'm going to say 35 now. Okay. Well, maybe let's see if I did. Yeah, well, that would be the goal, 35. Yeah. Didn't I add some to that, Amber? I don't remember if I did or not. Yeah, the 1961 Hitchhiker. That's one that we're getting ready. It sort of had to go back and add more DNA to it. So. Okay, well, there you go. Wait, what happened? Wait, hold on a second. Wait, I thought the... I'm just randomly looking at... Okay, no, that didn't happen. I thought there was the NBA game. There's a YouTube live that says, the Bucks win Game 5 in dramatic fashion. I was like, wait, they're already on Game 6. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, well, I'm glad you guys liked the show. Got some good laughs in there and 2 serious cases, all right? Of course, it was all laughing at my expense. Yeah. Well, it's cool. At first, I was a little bit like, oh, man. Yep, let's do this. I expect to hear something tomorrow at some point. Cold truth.
Okay, everybody, thank you, Zozo, Cairo, Lee D, LM, Hoosier Cold Cases, Cold Truth, C. Durden, Amber Maiden, Lee D, LM, CC, Jessica Schubach, LM, Shogun Love, Jessica Schubach, Lori Grant, Connie Lee, CC, Shogun Love, Amistad, Lori Fisher, Lynette Burns, Meredith McKenzie, Lane S, CC, Beholder Vomit Face, Lee D, Vomit Face, Lee D, CC, Lee D, Beholder, Drool Face, Amber Maida, Holly, TTJO, Tracy.
Awesome. Very cool, everybody. Very cool. Tomorrow, I'm going to be getting my first shingles vaccine dose. Isn't that great? I mean, I'm just like, give me as many vaccines as possible. Just start pumping them in like a. Actually, the shingles one is one I wanted to get for a while. So, I'm going to be getting one of those tomorrow. All right. Anybody else had that one? Shingrix or anything? Or what do you guys? If anybody else had Shingrix or whatever the hell it's called? Anybody try it yet?
Ring around the rosy, a pocket full of posy.
No, I don't mean if you've had shingles, but man, it sucks, doesn't it? I heard shingles is really painful. It goes away, and then you can get the vaccine and then not get it again, right? Oh, really? Yeah. It's probably a little bit like getting, what's that called? Gout, I would imagine. Just absolutely horrifically painful. All right, everybody. That's it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And, as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now.
Hey, wait!
And during
Where's
this whole
Lori?
time, I have not
Where's
seen one
Lori?
person.
Where's Lori?
That is a...
Gosh, I'm a crime dissector, the projector, certified human lie detector.
Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pub protector. Full deflector, interceptor, and I mean a better specter with a vector on his specter. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've attempted to fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender.
and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Yeah, so I'll just
Hey,
get right
goodbye,
back to it.
Lori.
All right, everybody. Talk to you.
When I'm in the mood, I sprinkle troll on my food, but I don't eat it. I chew it up and spit it out and repeat it. It's not a treat, the troll is beat. Just one of the ways that I defeat it. Staying in my groove when there's a troll on the move. Just takes a second to remove, 'cause every time I conclude, the troll is gonna lose. Nice try, lizard eye, I see you creeping on the sly. Why you think you're still fly? You're such a whiny cry. Battle me, you're gonna fly. Gonna send you out to mummify. Nice try, lizard eye, I see you creeping on the sly. Why you think you're so fly? You're such a crying enemy. You're gonna fly, gonna send me out.
I am Timmy, and here's a little story that I got to tell about three bad brothers you know so well. Started way back in history with Ed Rock, MCA, and me, Timmy.
What are you laughing at, Timmy? I thought you had no emotions.
Well, that's true. I don't have any emotions, but something made me smile and laugh right there.
That's weird, man, that's weird. I thought you were a robot.
Me too, but something you said literally made me act funny right then.
What do you mean, literally? You're starting to become more human as every day goes by. You ever notice that, Timmy?
Yes, I know.
Wait, are you saying that the vaccine? What vaccine did you get, Tammy? What was the name of the one that you got? Because they have a new one out there. It's different.
That I got to tell about three bad brothers you know so well. Started way back in history with that Rock, MCA, and me, Mike B. Had a little delicious name was Paul Revere, just me and my horsey and a quart of beer. Running across the land, kicking up sand, your posses on my tail, 'cause I'm in demand. One lonely beastie I be, all by myself without no party. Sun was beating down on my baseball hat, it was getting hot, it was getting flat. So I'm looking for a girl, ran into a guy, his name was MCA, he's a hot, he's a hot.
right, everybody. Thank you very much for showing up tonight.
Yeah, everybody, thanks. Hey, why are you trying to sound like me?
Yeah, I was. I'm trying to get emotions like you.
But yours are fake, mine are real.
Well, how do you know? Because you're digital too.
Ah, shut up. Good night, everybody.
Wow, what a bunch of nut jobs. All right, everybody, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, be safe out there. Boom.
Hello?
I say goodnight. Bye.